well. Just go to youtube.com, search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and then boom, you'll see my beautiful face that is freshly shaved. I saw everybody today shout me out for my nice little lineup, so thank you. It's just a little humble brag. Thank you. Gave myself a little bit of a boost to start the show tonight. So feel free to call in 617-779-0985. And, well, there is a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to spread our wings a little bit here. We've been doing a lot of Patriots. They've been on the bye week. But we are going to start Red Sox tonight. All this talk about them being interested in two power bats. And two power bats are now off the market. We'll tell you who those are coming up in a bit. Also, we will do Patriots-Bills stuff. And, man, the betting talk today just absolutely drove me crazy, and I can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait. The injury report is out this week. There's some other NFL news. We just saw a big name in college football. A big job is now available. And, of course, Bruins win last night. They've won 3 in a row. In the Celtics, they begin a 3-game road trip against the Giannis-less Bucks tomorrow night. We have it all for you, in or out. Musings. Again, the phone number is 617-779-0985. Opening take presented by Super Service Today. Winter's coming. Don't get caught in the cold. Super Service Today delivers New England's most complete home heating system health and safety check, catching problems before they catch you. Stay safe, stay warm. Book now at superservicetoday.com. Well, the Red Sox miss out on Kyle Schwarber and Pete Alonso. The news came out today that the Baltimore Orioles are signing Pete Alonso. 5-year deal, $155 million. First off, I didn't look at it, and I'm not one of these people. I know it's so lazy and easy and whatever to say, oh, the Red Sox are cheap, they don't want to spend money. I don't feel that way at all. I don't. To me, Alonso going to Baltimore, what does that do for him? He just played for the Mets, and now he's going to the Baltimore Orioles? To me, that's on him. And you know what? Some people are about the money, and fine, he deserves all that, but you want to go there? And I know the reports are out that the Red Sox offered less years and offered less money, and you all are going to say, oh, they don't spend money anymore. You know, do I think that the Red Sox need to be uncomfortable when making deals? Yes. Do I think they're choosing not to be? Absolutely. I wanted Pete Alonso. I thought he was the perfect fit. A year ago, the Red Sox went out and traded for Garrett Crochet. They got uncomfortable, but they got the best pitcher on the market. They traded for him. They got him. This year, all they had to do was get the perfect fit. Pete Alonso, put him at first base, bing, bang, boom. Nope. So now they lose out on Schwarber, who they never made an offer to. And reportedly, the offer they made to Alonso was too low. So, of course, public perception about the Red Sox is they're cheap, they're not spending money, and I just don't feel that way. I do feel that they are trying to get creative, and I think they want to operate as a team that wants to get, or at least stay around the first CBT tax, which is fine. I know that they used to be big spenders, and I know the Dodgers spend all this money, but if the Red Sox are being transparent and telling you that they want to operate this way, I think they can be creative by doing it. Now, does that mean that they are promising or say they want 2 bats and they just missed out on the 2 biggest bats in the free agency? Absolutely. So if you're a fan, you should be upset. But I just look at it and say, I think they're being creative and they're not done yet. Just don't think the story's over yet. But just a couple of thoughts here. 5 years, $155 million. I do think Alonso's deal is reasonable. I'm not one of these guys who thinks, oh, he's not worth the money or he shouldn't get that. I never felt that way. I always thought he was going to get around $30 million a year. I always felt that would happen. But he is coming to the American League East, right? Just not Boston. We keep talking about the fit, plays first base, right-handed power bat. He's 31 years old. He's at 34 more home runs in 5 straight seasons. It's exactly the fit that they needed. So now what? And we'll get into a couple of other things, but Craig Breslow, I'm wondering what his offensive plan will be. Like Schwarber and Alonso were just guys that you could have given the money to. But you never made an offer to Schwarber. And the offer you made Alonso wasn't in the same ballpark as what he could get elsewhere. We'll get into the urgency now of re-signing Alex Bregman. But at first base, they need someone that's productive that's not named Tristan Casas. And I know that Okamoto, maybe they make a push for him. But elite power is now off the board. There's still a couple of guys out there. The Suarez, Suarez? Was it Eugenio? Suarez, he hits a lot of home runs, but strikes out a ton. Guy can hit 30 home runs a year. But just reacting to this today, is it a disaster? I don't feel that way, but I'm sure you all do. I'm sure you look at them as the interest kings. And I can give you a list of the players that they have been truly interested in. Right? We've heard about Pete Alonso. We've heard about Kyle Schwarber. Okamoto's another one now. Right? Dylan Cease was one of their guys. He signed with the Blue Jays. Devin Williams was in the mix. He goes to the Mets. Right? So now we're starting to hear about Bo Bichette and Jorge Polanco and Suarez and JT Realmuto. Right? Oh, have you heard about the Kyle Teal and Ketel Marte and Corey Seager now and Michael King? I'm sick of hearing the names at this point. Go make some moves, please. I think that the 2 pitching moves to their rotation has improved. I still think they can get a top of the rotation guy. Some of the reports yesterday where they're no longer in pursuit of Joe Ryan. I'd revisit that. I do think they need hitters in the middle of their lineup, though. Romy Gonzalez and Tristan Casas isn't going to do it, for me at least, at first base. So I understand if they pass on Alonso, fine. Schwarber, fine. 2 of the biggest bats, though, gone. How are the Red Sox now going to get creative? That keep talking about not wanting to go over to the second CBT. I'm fine with them being creative and trying to stay around above the first one. But how are they going to do it? How are they? And now I'm starting to wonder about Alex Bregman. Imagine losing all 3. Like, the Red Sox are in a position to actually have this happen. Alex Bregman might have loved – how many one-and-done guys have been here before? Remember Adrian Beltre was a one-and-done guy? Bregman could be that too. But there's urgency now to get that thing done. But does it take him away from potentially signing somebody else? The Marte thing now becomes interesting to me. If they re-sign Bregman and bring in Marte, is that a successful season or a successful offseason? I say yes. Maybe it's not the power bat you wanted or thought of, but to me, that's a guy that can hit 30 home runs. I don't know what the vibe would be like with him in the locker room. I really don't. And you know what? I don't care as long as he puts the ball over the fence. That's what I care about. But the interest kings, they're back, baby. I keep hearing the names. I just don't know which ones they're going to keep and which ones they're actually interested in. Hey, I'm interested in a lot of things. I'm interested in losing weight, right? I'm interested in a new car. I'm interested in a lot of things. But it does come down to times to actually make moves and being uncomfortable. And to me right now, the Red Sox, I think, don't want to be uncomfortable when it comes to either long-term deals or certain players. And I think it's time for them to be uncomfortable when it comes to free agency. And I'll tell you this much. If you lose Alex Bregman, things become really uncomfortable. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I do want to get into a little bit more about moving on from, losing out on 2 of the biggest hitters in free agency that they were even linked to. And who's next? And what about Alex Bregman? We'll get into all of that coming up next. I'm Joe Murray. Again, opening take presented by Super Service Today. Winter's coming. Don't get caught in the cold. Super Service Today delivers New England's most complete home heating system and health check and safety check, catching problems before they catch you. I'm Joe Murray. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Well, how are the Red Sox fans feeling today? How you feeling? You know, I thought Pete Alonso was the perfect fit. I did. And if they signed him and he sucked, it'd be great for sports radio. Right? It'd be great. When are they going to become uncomfortable, though? Like, for example, right? Say they're 3 years, $100 million with Bregman. But he wants $4 and $140. Will they do it? Just feels like they're afraid to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to call them cheap because they're not. And I'm not going to say they don't want to spend the money, but I don't know, people. We were here for 25 years where the Patriots had the same model. Now, did they win 6 championships over that time? Absolutely they did. The Red Sox are no longer operating like a team that's throwing away money and paying the tax. But the Yankees aren't either. They're just not. Like, it's hard for you all to deal with it because you watch the Red Sox do whatever they could to beat the Yankees, and you watch the Yankees for years do whatever they could to make their team better and spend money. The game's just not like that anymore. So, trust me, you old-timers out there that aren't in our demographic, it's you. Baseball's not the way it was when you played. It's not the way it was when I played. In this game, Major League Baseball, they're looking ahead at potentially a work stoppage. And nobody wants to hear the Yankees or the Red Sox talk about losing money. Nobody wants to hear that, so that's somewhat of a bad look. I'll at least agree with that. But I still think they can have a good baseball team operating at the first CBT. Now, they got to get creative. This is where I think the Red Sox, when I say that they need to be uncomfortable, like make a move that's uncomfortable for you. You have outfield depth, pitching staff depth. You have prospects galore, and you have money to spend. You're in perfect position to acquire the player that you want and be uncomfortable about the deal. That's my issue. So missing out on Pete Alonso and Kyle Schwarber, I don't love it, but where are they going to get creative? And now, is there urgency when it comes to Alex Bregman, which is our next topic here? Like, what's the deal with a Bregman return? What happens here? Craig Breslow was asked today about Bregman. Actually, Skaz, I'll throw this in Slack so we can play it. But my only thing is, when he was asked about Bregman, I felt a little bit of I'll use the word pivot. Pivot! I felt a pivot when asked. So now I'm curious. Now I'm curious about the Bregman situation. Because he had such an impact, whether it was his leadership, his defense. And I'm sure Alex Cora said it yesterday. We talked about it last night. Alex Cora said he's been keeping it cool with Bregman all offseason. I think Bregman knows he has the Red Sox in his back pocket, but is trying to get more money. And now maybe there's a little bit, I don't want to use the word desperation, but you can't lose on Bregman if you missed out on the other two, right? Then what do you do? And I wonder how he feels about the Red Sox being linked to all these guys who can play his position, whether it's if they moved Bichette over there. Right? Suarez is another guy that can play that position. I'm just curious how he feels, but they weren't uncomfortable about being serious last year about playing into October. They weren't uncomfortable about that. So why do they want to wait until things kind of settle and then maybe make those decisions? Timing's not great on it, but now I'm starting to have a little bit of fear regarding Bregman. If you lose out on these two and then you lose Bregman, oh boy. Could be a whole looking team. Let's listen to Greg Breslow. He was asked today about Alex Bregman.
I want to get right to the elephant in the room question regarding Alex Bregman, and I know you're not at liberty to tell us everything you know. But I'm sure there are multiple channels that you guys have charted out One being the ideal case scenario, Bregman returns. The other being we have to pivot plan B. Give us what you got on the pursuit of Alex Bregman. I know the club would love to have him back. He was such a great fit. Where are you right now?
Sure. So we are having a bunch of conversations, and you're right. We've got to not just kind of chart option A, but also B, C, D, and on. But we had the chance to see up close what Alex can bring to a clubhouse, what he can bring to the field. He emerged as a leader, especially a leader amongst those young players, and his impact on our team was huge. And so we obviously remain engaged in conversations, but exactly how things will go, we're not sure.
No,
everybody keeps talking about Pete Alonso. Perfect.
No, wow, that doesn't make me feel good now. Here I am starting the show today, Skaz, saying, you know what? If they're going to get creative, get creative. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Oh, boy.
I don't like even just the first couple seconds of him talking there where he's basically pivoting right away and talking about all his different plans and conversations they're having. Shouldn't it be, one or two conversations with Alex Bregman? I don't think it needs to be 15. Aren't they pretty aware of the market for Alex Bregman at this point?
There's got to be like two teams in Cubs.
If the Red Sox were serious about any of these guys, they'd be signed already. They're waiting to see if they can, get a deal.
Are you bothered by the Alonso move?
I don't want the Boston Red Sox ever losing out on free agents to the Baltimore Orioles.
Agreed.
I don't think the Boston Red Sox should be a team that has had a platoon at first base for the better part of what feels like 4 to 5 years now. Maybe it's closer to 2 to 3, but it certainly feels like they've had a platoon at first base for quite a while. And Pete Alonso, in his sleep, hits 35 home runs a year and plays the position, doesn't miss games. And I'm not saying he's an elite defender or anything like that, but you need a right-handed power bat at Fenway, and Pete Alonso checked all those boxes. And I'm not some, massive Pete Alonso fan, but I don't know how you could feel good about being outbid for Pete Alonso by the Baltimore Orioles if you're a Red Sox fan.
Now, I'm just curious how they're going to get creative now. But that Bregman stuff didn't. It's like, hey, tell us about, Tristan Cassis. Well, I really love what we saw from Trevor Story. Just what? All right. Let's hear from you guys. By the way, I don't know. Like, I already, Skaz, I'm telling you right now, I can already expect the John Henry, I think they can operate and have a competitive team going over the first tax. I think they can do that. I think they can be a playoff team that's competitive. So if you're upset about missing out on guys, great. You have every opinion to do that. I'm just not going to say they're cheap because they're not. The Orioles, to give that kind of money, that's desperate. And listen, they've been a team that, they had so many prospects for so long, right? Prospect, this guy, that guy. And how's that worked out for him? They actually got uncomfortable, is my point. Yeah, losing out to the Orioles sucks, but they got real uncomfortable. Let's see if it works for them. Because the young prospects haven't for them. But I'm not going to do the Henry's cheap thing. I just think they need to do a deal that's uncomfortable. That's all. Let's talk to Kevin. He's in the car. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, guys. Happy holidays. I think the Pete Alonso thing's a huge miss, to be honest with you. He's not a superstar, but he's exactly what that offensive lineup needed. I never thought Schwarber was going to happen after last season. I think the only thing that remedies this, you want to talk about being uncomfortable, you go out there and you pay Skubal. You make the move that you need to for Skubal. You have enough young prospects. I think that's the only thing that remedies it.
I think they need a hitter, though. Skubal will be great. I think they need a hitter. Morgan's and Sagas. Hey, Morgan.
Hey, John Henry is not going to spend big money on long-term contracts before the next CBA. He's really hoping that the next CBA is going to be much more owner-friendly. because they've signed a bunch of guys long term for not much money per year, relatively.
So you think they're being careful this offseason because of what's ahead?
Yeah.
But you're blaming John Henry for not spending.
Yep.
See what I mean? It's like I just feel it's lazy, Morgan. Like they can be creative. You don't think they can?
Oh, they can.
You just never mind. You just don't. Yeah, John Henry's cheap. Doesn't want to spend money. It's so lazy to hear on radio. For real, dude. It's really lazy. You can be upset that they missed out on two of the top bats. Schwarber was a fan favorite. And Alonso seemed like a perfect fit. But if you're settled on they're not going to make moves because of what's ahead in the new CBA, then why are you upset then? If that's your expectation already, that they're not going to do it, then why are you upset right now? If you're already sold that they're not going to do it, don't call here and tell me you're upset that they didn't sign a guy at $155 million. Now, what does suck is they're operating under the, I'll always use John Lester for an example. They lowballed John Lester. It was a bad look. He went elsewhere. He even kind of dangled out coming back the next year and then burned him. So, was it a lack of effort? I think they've done their due diligence. The thing with the Red Sox is not about spending. It's about doing deals that they like. That's the issue. And years, money, whatever, we'll see what happens with Bregman. But I think right now, if they miss out on him, then I can't wait to hear from one Craig Breslow. Jackson, Boston, hey, Jack.
How's it going, guys? Long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm just I think the Alonso signing miss is really a big deal because you start to lose the incentive for guys like Bregman to come back. I think the Red Sox aren't taking, that middle of the order seriously and leaving that platoon on first base. I think the Alonso signing would have just been helpful in securing a Bregman deal longer term. So I almost see that as the bigger loss. I think it was a little bit of an overpay by the Orioles, honestly, for a guy that, yeah.
All right, Jack, appreciate you, man. All right, well, enough of what I know or think or say. Let's hear from Tyler Milliken. That's who I want to hear from. We'll do that next after the headline on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox miss out on Pete Alonso. He signed a 5-year, $155 million deal with the Orioles. The Red Sox offer was fewer years. Sox remain hopeful that they can sign Alex Bregman. Bills and Patriots will play this weekend. The injury report is out. Terrell Jennings, the lone pick. Bucks, Michigan. quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
I'm not sitting here. I don't think I've hit the full panic button like a lot of people. And it's weird. The last couple off seasons, it felt like the panic button was hit by, I'd call it like November 15th, Thanksgiving. People were already starting to panic. And a lot of that was when budget numbers would come out. And we had some of that with hearing the second luxury tax threshold was what they weren't willing to go over, which is stupid. But, that's for another day. Overall, though, this whole situation with Pete Alonso, I was shocked to see him go and sign today, just simply because whether it was Castillo and McAdam, whether it was Andy Martino, a lot of people thought Alonso's free agency was going to kind of carry out for a little bit, at least going into next week. But I think that's where you look at what the Orioles did, and you got to tip your cap and give them a lot of respect, because you should have known when they offered $5,150 for Kyle Schwarber what was coming. The Orioles they're operating on a different level right now. They're trying to come out here and be closer to a big market team. They're trying to capitalize on this window here, but between them going out and getting Taylor Ward earlier in the offseason, a 30-homer bat there, we're hearing them connected to Framber Valdez. They've talked to Kyle Tucker's camp. The Orioles' new owner, Rubenstein, he is one of these private equity guys like a Steve Cohen that can really go out there and be a billionaire and spend this crazy money. It feels like the Orioles are starting to do that. And that offer of 5 years, 155, to me, it sounded like, whatever that number is, tell us right now, because we want to make sure it's done. And the Red Sox just aren't operating with the same amount of urgency. And when you look at Alonso and what he brought to the table, it's just a hard pill to swallow, because he checks off even the quotes Breslow's giving today after the Pete Alonso signing, saying, we're looking for, maybe 2 bats, maybe 1 bat. It depends. We need someone who's really good with runners in scoring position. Oh, okay. Pete Alonso has a 933 career OPS with runners in scoring position. It was over 1,000 this past season. We don't want a guy that whiffs. Okay, well, no one sat here with Kyle Schwarber, right, and was freaking out yesterday. You know why? We all thought he was going back to Philly in the first place. It was alarming when you didn't see the Red Sox offer come out around that, and I think that was a pretty telling moment within itself, just simply because all these other teams were willing to put an offer. You stood back and didn't care to put one there, and you pair that with how the Alonso stuff is and your numbers and years not matching up. Julian McWilliams saying they're out on Bo Bichette based on his market. You're starting to get some concerning trends there. So I kind of look at this entire Pete Alonso situation, and it's just disappointing, but I'm not at the point where I'm full panic, because I believe there's a lot of pathways still for them to have a lineup that's at least comparable to where they were before they traded Rafael Devers. And I think Rafael Devers' name will continue to come up, because until you find a way to replace that bat and you do something that's on that level, it's the first thing everybody's mind is going to go to, because there's a reality where he was already on this team right now, and everybody isn't kind of holding their breath on December 10th.
I can feel your frustration right now. I can't believe I'm the calm one here right now. like Tyler, I've listened to you for years, and you have said, like, hey, this guy's coming up and they have this person and that. Like, I feel as though the Red Sox can operate by not going over the second CBT. I think they can be a playoff team. I think they can be a World Series contender without doing that. So am I upset that they lost out on Alonso? No. I just think that he would have solved a problem that they need. He was actually like a solution, but Tyler, I think they don't want to be uncomfortable. They want everything on their terms. They want to sign a guy. They'll give him a little bit more money, but less years, right? Like, I think it's okay to operate like that. My whole thing is to your point, they promise 2 bats, right? And then you ask them about Bregman and they pivot. So the 2 best bats that were linked to them are off the board. And the interest kings is what they're labeled as now, right? Like, it's just a label. My only thing is, like you said, I think it's stupid they can't go over this. Dude, I don't think really anyone's going to do that. Like, the Yankees aren't doing it. So, like, I just don't feel like there's urgency from the Red Sox to do it.
See, I think the Yankees, and they were over $300 million this past season. I don't think they'll get up to $300 million, but I believe they're going to be over $284 million. And to me, that's the number. Like, that's the bare minimum where the Red Sox should be right now, because all you are losing is money. I tweeted this out a week or 2 ago. You go back to the Rangers in 23 and 24, and their financials were very similar. They went just above the second luxury tax. I believe, first year was over the first threshold. Second year was just over the second threshold. It cost them about $10 million in tax penalties over a 2-year span. Last year, when the Red Sox went over, it was only a $1 million penalty. That was it. It wasn't like they paid some crazy price for being $7 million over the luxury tax. The only thing to me that should be a problem, especially with how you've operated this decade, because keep in mind during this CBA, right? The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, and Phillies. What do they all have in common? They've been over the luxury tax every single year. In the previous CBA, teams went over for 2 years and got under. That includes the Yankees. It's why the Dodgers operated the way they did leading up to the Mookie Betts trade. So when you're sitting here and we're talking about, well, you don't have to spend that much. The Blue Jays are about to spend that much. By the time they sign Bo Bichette, or whether it's him or Kyle Tucker, they're going to be right up around $300 million. We know where the Dodgers are. It looks like the Phillies are going to end up in that same ballpark because they're going to run it back. Obviously, Schwarber there, and they're pretty far along, it seems, on a 2-year deal with JT Realmuto. But for the Red Sox to be sitting here, and there was a pathway where you could have had Alex Bregman and Pete Alonso for somewhere, let's call it 55 to 60 million, and you still would have been right around that 284 number, especially if you moved Durant in another trade. It just felt like it was such an easy, straightforward path. And, we start hearing now that they were wary of Pete Alonso because of his age. Okay, I understand that on a first baseman. What are two of the names we heard them connected to in trade rumors last night and over the last couple? Ketel Marte, right, and Corey Seager. Both of those guys, they're entering their age 32 season. And while I think they'll probably age better than a Pete Alonso, they both have their athleticism as major parts of their game, whether it's Marte as above average second baseman defensively or Corey Seager as an above average shortstop. It feels like what was easily in front of them, and it wouldn't have cost you prospects to get Pete Alonso. He had no QO, so it wasn't a second and a fifth round pick, $1 million in international money. It was such an easy straight road to follow that still kept you with a bunch of options. But the tea leaves has kind of told us for over a month they were only going to sign one big bat, and it looks like it's been Bregman over the last 24 hours or so. I would just ask, did it become Bregman once they realized Schwarber wasn't possible because he wanted to go back to Philly, or when they saw Pete Alonso was going to get a 5-year deal, maybe when they viewed him? And you see David Stearns. David Stearns didn't want to go beyond 3 years was the rumor, never made an actual offer. When you look at very analytically inclined front offices, and Mike Elias fits under this as well, a lot of the times they draw that line at whatever their evaluation is. It felt like Craig Breslow did that here, and if you're not willing to get uncomfortable in free agency and overpay, you're going to have a hard time. Andrew Freeman's quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but if you're not willing to get uncomfortable for a free agent, every free agent is going to be impossible to sign. You can't finish second or third. You have to be willing to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And so far, it feels like Breslow hasn't been willing to do that on anything that isn't a short-term high AAV deal.
Tyler Milliken joining us. He is part of the Zoe and Beetle show. Section 10 podcast on Underdog, which you're doing later on tonight. Is that correct?
That is correct. We'll be sitting here talking Pete Alonso, Johan Oviedo trade, all the little things. Rule 5, come on, Joe.
Yeah. So here's where I will agree with some of the things you're saying. The Blue Jays, they got a taste and now they want it, right? So they're going to spend. The only thing I'll say about Baltimore is for years they just piped up these prospects, right? Well, the prospects weren't good enough. So now I think they do need to spend some money because they learned the hard way, right? They got the number one. How many top picks did they have, right? So I think now they had to get uncomfortable. Like Alonso's an uncomfortable deal for them. I'm sure it is. And it stinks because it's in the division. So, yeah, it stinks that the Red Sox are losing out to those teams. Well, I want to ask you this. Is right now when you look at it, right, is Alex Bregman hopeful? Or is he the top priority like they said at the beginning of free agency?
I think at this point in time, he is the top priority. I think maybe they entered the offseason, and as they felt it out, they were willing to evaluate all three. And you look at Craig Breslow's comments, how many times was he going to talk about home runs and power? It just didn't feel geared towards Bregman in that way. And maybe this was his way of playing leverage and kind of going about it that way. But I think with Alex Bregman here, he shores up third base. And one of my issues with Alonso and why I wanted him here, but I thought it was a significant issue for him was the defense at first base. He's a bad defensive first baseman. I think for Bregman, what he brings to you leadership-wise, what you ended up doing this past year with moving Rafael Devers out because you viewed him as such a clubhouse cancer. If you're going to have to work with such urgency to make a move like that, then you better properly value Alex Bregman's leadership. And I think that's part of the reason Kyle Schwarber was so beloved amongst multiple teams, and there were so many teams willing to get uncomfortable because he's a culture setter. I think Bregman carries that as well. And I'll be real with you. I think Alex Bregman, people are almost too down on him based on what happened after the quad injury. And I've heard people call him injury prone. The prior 3 seasons, 22, 23, 24, he was fully healthy. You know, if you want to sit here and tell me you want Corey Seager, who's had 1 healthy season since the start of 2021, and you're going to tell me you don't want Alex Bregman because of injury concerns, it's not going to line up. And obviously there are different talent levels there, but I think Alex Bregman is too crucial to what you're doing. And there's still a pathway where you have him at third base. He protects Trevor Story, who, you know, showed some real signs of regression defensively last year. Marcelo Myers at second base, you can still evaluate different options at first. Isaac Paredes is someone who, you know, if the Astros can actually wake the hell up and not live in a fantasy land asking for Peyton Tolle and Connolly early, please get real. I don't know what planet you live on. And I like Isaac Paredes. It's a guy who doesn't strike out much, sees a ton of pitches, walks a lot, has 30 home run power that would play awesome at Fenway, and he can play a capable first base. All right, maybe for Hunter Dobbins or Cutter Crawford, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think Alex Bregman makes too much sense for the Red Sox at this point, on and off the field. And you still have a lot of pathways where second and first, you can evaluate your options there. And I'll add on Bregman. I think the Red Sox are smiling because his market looks horrible. Yep. We hear with the Tigers, Evan Petzold said, you know, they're lukewarm on him essentially. The Cubs, first off, insultingly bad offer last offseason. Looks like they're focusing on Tatsuya Imai, the pitcher coming over from Japan. They want pitching. Zach Gallen, they've been in on. Shout out Bob Nightingale, came close on that report. Kind of, not really. But, you know, I think for Bregman, he would have benefited so much if Schwarber ended up going somewhere else because, then the Phillies could have pivoted, signed him as the culture guy. Alec Boehm would be sent out somewhere. Now, who the hell wants you? And great, he had a Zoom meeting with the Cubs. If that's the best thing you have for leverage that you can put out there, you're in big trouble. And I think the Red Sox might end up getting him on a 4 or even a 5-year deal. And I think it's going to be more team friendly than a lot of people thought.
How does this look better not signing one of the top hitters? And let's say Bregman's back, right? Is it about trading for Marte or is it maybe potentially jumping back into the Joe Ryan or Freddie Peralta? Like, for you, if it's Bregman, a hitter, and a pitcher, does that satisfy the offseason for you?
Yeah, if you added another arm, because I'll be real with you, I'm pretty comfortable with the rotation. I'd like to see them pursue a potential, you know, call it a 1A, 1B to Garrett Crochet. And I don't know if I'd call Freddie Peralta that exactly. I think Joe Ryan and the Twins, they're putting up a very strong look right now that they're not willing to move him. But I like Joe Ryan a lot. I think he's a fine number 2 starting pitcher, and I'd throw Freddie Peralta in that same thing. To me, what is so interesting about the Ketel Marte path, and they need to be so careful looking into what went wrong for him over there this past year because the Diamondbacks were doing everything they could to compete. They got him on a very team-friendly extension. You know, it's like $18 million AAV, you know, for 5 years as a extra year at the end for a player option at 11.5, but it's almost half deferred money. Why is a team like the D-backs willing to move off of him after less than a year? And we heard teammates and coaches were unhappy. Obviously had that situation with his mom that was very sad, you know, a fan making fun of her death, and she had passed away about 8 years ago. That affected him. He missed some time there. Then there was a Burgley situation where he got robbed, you know, at the All-Star break, missed a couple games when he got back, and seemed like the clubhouse didn't respond super well. What's going on there? Because if you were willing to move Devers because of clubhouse issues, it's an interesting look for you to go trade for another guy who had similar clubhouse concerns over the past season. I just think people don't realize how good of a bat he is. And you go over the last 2 seasons, he has the 5th best OPS in the entire sport. That's how good Ketel Marte is. How many more years will he be that? I think you'd hope for 2 or 3. You know, might be pushing it at that point. But I think if you got Bregman, Marte, and you found a way to get Freddie Peralta, that to me is an A offseason. I don't know how anyone else would frame it any other way.
See, I feel like I'm the only person that's like, they're not done yet. Like, They have money. They have
100%.
They have prospects. They have outfield depth. They have pitching depth. Like, I don't know. Someone's going to get desperate to a point where maybe they can wait to find the deal that they like. I know that everyone wants them to spend. Tyler, I'm old. For you, to you, I'm old, right? I'm 43. But like the day, yeah, call me Unk. The days though of them spending big money and going after Kyle Crawford and Adrian, like all that, those days are over, man. Like yeah, maybe that sucks, right? Being a big market team and not doing that anymore, but at least they're transparent about it.
Yeah, it's a fair point. You know, Craig Breslow will continue to say whenever they've asked for the money or whatever he needs in order to field the best team possible, it's always there. You know, I guess spending up to 264, you should have some actual context, right, to the entire league, because a majority of franchises would kill to be a top 7 or 8 teams or 7 or 8 team in terms of the luxury tax. It's just to know that's one of your strengths as a front office, to know the amount of revenue you brought in this past season or in 2024 at 570 million, and you're not using that muscle to the full ability, something that you can use that other teams can't. It just feels like a wasted opportunity. And if those other clubs can do it, why can't you? And it's just hard to get past that because, yes, you know, throwing money at things doesn't just make you a good baseball team. The Mets are a great example of that, but it gives you a greater margin for error. That's why a team like the Dodgers can lose their entire rotation like they did 2 years ago and keep going. It's why a team like the Blue Jays last year can make the World Series without Bo Bichette and keep it moving and still be that good of a team. It's just to have those error bars in what's going to be a very hard AL East, to have those a bit bigger, it feels like it's just a wasted opportunity for you. Because with this young core, this could be a golden era of Red Sox baseball if they were to truly just go full throttle. And I know that phrase, a lot of people hate it, but it's true. Before. They should be acting that way right now.
Any young prospects or somebody that could come from the system to help out at all this year?
Ooh, that's a good question. Guys that could come up immediately. I'm going to kind of go to Kyson Witherspoon. And Jim Callis recently framed him as someone that could have like a Trey Savage like rise. And we saw Trey Savage do what he did in the World Series and throughout the playoffs. Kyson Witherspoon was their first round pick this past season, number 7 on Baseball America's big board, ended up falling all the way to you in the middle of the first round. It wouldn't shock me. And Spear has alluded to him starting the season at AA. A more mature arsenal than what Peyton Tolley had, and we saw him rise all the way from high A to the big leagues this past season. I think Kyson Witherspoon could be another guy that's kicking at the door come, September, somewhere in that area. It could become a very interesting, whether it's as a starter or whether it's in the bullpen. I think with their depth, it'd probably be more geared towards the bullpen, but I think that could be a very interesting angle or depth option if it comes to it.
All right, Tyler. It's okay. Are you guys going to have like a vent session tonight, or what's it going to be?
Joe, I think where you are is where I am. I think I'm just a little more emotional overall, but there's pathways for this team to still be really good. It's just a little frustrating when it seems like this was something you spent time on, something that you were clearly interested in, someone who checked so many boxes, someone who had local ties and had maybe a reason to lean towards you if the offers were even comparable, and you weren't willing to extend that far. But there's a lot of pathways here. I don't want people to look past that, because if you graded the offseason on December 10th last year or January 10th, you would have been disappointed. You got to spring training and everyone called their offseason an A.
Yeah, did they whiff on the winter meetings? Yes. Did they lose out to the rest of the division? Yep. Besides that, there's still work to be done. So they're coming back home now, right? Is it over now?
Yeah, that's what Craig Breslow said. We're going home. We're going to work. Now, things usually slow down, and I'd say probably 5 or 6 days right around Christmas time. But who knows? Something could fall out. The Ketel Marte smoke has been pretty up and down over the last couple days. But if that starts progressing, and I think what you're looking for in that deal, I think they want Connolly early. Merrill Kelly last year, when the Red Sox were discussing him, that was the piece they weren't willing to give up. They were trying to send Brandon Clark, who got sent out for Sonny Gray. I wonder what's going to hold up the next piece in that deal. Could it be Marcelo Meyer? Would that take the kind of discomfort that Breslow needs to accept? Maybe. But it feels like he's going to play this game of chicken. And if someone else ends up trading for Marte, I think you're going to see real panic set in, because there's still these game-changing bats out there. And as much as the Corey Seager stuff is fun to talk about, it seems very unlikely. More like that's one of those rumors you get at the winter meetings that you mentioned 6 years later and people are like, was that real? Was that possible? It's like the Jacob deGrom story from back in the day with the Mets. But I don't know. I think for where the Red Sox are right now, just don't go full panic mode. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be disappointed, but there's still a lot of pathways here.
I agree. I'm okay with it. Sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't make. But yes, dude, I just think people need to, the old days are gone. The competing with the Yankees, it's over. And they're never going to compete with the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Like it's and I get it. You lost out to them, but
But why?
Well, the other teams got uncomfortable. And dude, I mean, have we heard any other reports that people were in on Alonso for 150?
No, and
that's what
there just didn't seem like there was a ton of teams in there.
There you go.
But if you're a Red Sox fan and you pay the prices you do to go to that ballpark, you deal what you've dealt with the last half decade where all these other big market teams that are on your tier are willing to spend that money to make sure they're competitive, to make sure they're in the playoffs regularly, and you can't do that. Red Sox fans deserve better than that. And I hope, the last year seeing them go over the luxury tax was a nice sign. Hopefully they go even beyond that this year, but they should be going all in. Maximize what you have at your disposal, because when it comes to the World Series, these teams are separated by inches, and you're going up against the Goliath and the Dodgers. You better come right, or they're going to knock you out. And everything broke right for the Blue Jays in that World Series, and still they could not knock them out.
Feel bad for Will Fleming tonight, huh?
I love Will. He's an awesome guy. Who knows? 72 hours, like he said.
Yeah.
Let's let the clock go.
Again, I don't think they should say anything. just like move in silence like lasagna. That's what I want them to do.
Yeah, it's like the trade deadline, right? Like it's all this hype and all this build up, and it sets up this storm of anger and everyone getting upset.
And then,
I just would say,
and then deleting Twitter.
Yeah. Listen, Red Sox Twitter right now is one of the scariest places I think on the world or on the planet.
You should see our phone lines right now.
People should be upset. I'm not saying they shouldn't be, because, like I said with Alonso, he was just such a seamless.
Oh, but it's his age. But then go look at Marte and all these other guys that are even older than him.
That kind of stuff, that just sets me over the edge. Just say you don't believe in paying a first baseman that kind of money. We know how analytical front offices view first basemen in the sport today. Just say that's how you feel. Own your philosophies. Don't sit here and start crying about age or whatever it may be when you're going to go chase a middle infielder that's a year older. I'm sorry, doesn't work for me.
He's Tyler Milliken, everybody. You can find you on tomorrow with the guys.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
All right, and you'll be on tonight. I don't want them to listen to you though, because they have to listen to me.
Please stay here and listen to Joe. He's the man.
Right. And then you can listen to their podcast, which they can find where again?
Just on YouTube. If you want to go to the Underdog MLB channel, you'll get all the Section 10 episodes there to listen to.
He's Tyler Milliken, everybody. He's our guy. Tyler, thank you, man. We'll get the pulse on you once again later on in this offseason.
It's always a blast, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. He's Tyler Milliken, everyone. And this hour of the sports has been brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. You'll save 15% off an extra through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. Let's talk about more Red Sox. We got a lot on the table tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Toe hung where you can see. We have a Christmas tree out in the lobby right now that needs to be decorated. Who's going to do that? Not me. You do a tree yet, Scuzz?
Oh, yeah.
It's already done.
Real tree, decorated.
Is your uncle at the top?
Not yet. He's not up there yet. He's a placeholder now.
What's the placeholder?
My girlfriend has like an angel or something, something nice up there.
Because the lips of an angel. Is that Hinder, I think?
I think that is Hinder, Joe.
Well, speaking of Hinder, do you think Red Sox fans were hindered by no movement today?
I think there's a growing frustration in the fan base. I think it's to be expected. I mean, we do this every year. We saw Dan Shaughnessy make his reappearance on Twitter today to tweet, how do you people keep falling for this, basically, summarizing a little bit. But, yeah.
To all those who took the cheese on the Sox being all in, when will you ever learn, was the quote.
Yeah, I don't think they're an all-in franchise anymore. I think they can still make very good moves. Even I think Milliken saying a moves for an A offseason I think is a little strong, but I still think there's plenty of talent out there for them to have a successful offseason and make the Red Sox a better baseball team. But I don't know how you could argue that the Red Sox are all in anymore in winning championships.
Well, I think they're serious about signing Bregman was serious about playing in October though. Last year.
Or was it serious about having someone for when you ran Rafael Devers out of town?
That's the underlining story that that's not the narrative though. Right? Oh, they're serious. Then they traded Devers. Do you think that teams want to come to Boston? Or players, want to come to Boston?
I'm not sure it really matters in that. I think the Red Sox still have some cachet, but it's about money. It's always about money. Say,
Pete Alonso played for the Mets with Juan Soto, right? And big names. But the Baltimore Orioles? Was he like, oh man, I really love The Wire? What could have possibly besides it was the money, guys.
It's cash. Cash is king, Joe.
That's all it was. But I think he's gonna waste away in Baltimore. They tried already with their prospects. Maybe this is the first sign of it.
Well, now you supplement the prospects with talent.
Okay, who looks worse, the Red Sox or the Mets? The Mets just let Edwin Diaz go. They're gonna lose. They lose Alonso now, and they're stuck with Soto's fat contract.
I mean, he's one of the best players in baseball. Stuck is, not how I would describe it. I think.
Do you think they're gonna spend money on a first baseman?
I think the Mets are going to be. I think that they're going to take a down year this year, and they'll be back next year. A little bit of a reset. That roster was getting older. Devin Williams doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's listen to the people. Sound off. I'm not as sad. I don't know. I think they got a lot of options. Let's talk to Dalton. He's in Dedham. Hey, Dalton.
Hey guys, how we doing? Scaz, I like that the Christmas song because the Red Sox are the Grinch of Christmas. We're not going to get an evening this year. But dude, do you guys remember how awesome the winter meetings used to be? When we got Daisuke, when the Red Sox actually spent money, we were excited to be a Red Sox fan. It's not the same thing anymore. It's 2 days, and it's just basically everyone goes home. But Joe, do you remember the day that Daisuke got signed? Do you remember how big that was in Boston?
Yeah, they gave a lot of money to just talk to a guy.
I know, Joe. I know that the asking price is
Dalton.
But that was,
when was that? What year was that?
That was, I think, 2007, Joe. Right? If I'm not mistaken.
What year are we in?
Joe, I get it, but you know what? Did the Red Sox win the World Series that year? Did the Red Sox win the World Series that year, Joe? Did they? Did they not?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you that Daisuke helped them win a World Series. Yeah, he did.
Yes, yeah. That's what I'm getting at. The Red Sox just don't do it anymore, Joe, and it's so
doing
unfortunate
it anymore. No, are the Yankees doing it?
Joe, they're going to be the Yankees every year.
Dalton,
it doesn't matter what you do.
Dalton, all you're doing is calling in with your lazy ass take about John Henry. That's all you're doing. You have
I know. I'm going to get to John Henry about that.
You have no other take besides John Henry not spending money in his Grinch. What other take do you have?
Can I get to that, Joe? Can I get to that?
Well, I don't know if you can now.
Okay, well, yeah, because you know what? You know what he offered Pete Alonso? Let me tell you right now, Joe. He went like this to him. He goes, "Oh, Mr. Alonso, I can give you all the bear bonds buried under my basement if you just sign a 2-year, $44 million deal." Does that sound about right, Joe?
No.
It does, Joe. Come on. He's cheap, Joe. Come on. He's cheap.
That's lazy. That was a bad John Henry impersonation, too. Do you agree?
I mean, the impression wasn't great, but I enjoy the sentiment.
Oh, we're going back to Dice K now, huh? Yeah.
When was the last time the Red Sox were all in?
Carl Crawford and Adrian Gonzalez. Pablo Sandoval and
Price.
Hanley Ramirez?
Hanley.
And what happened to them? Just real quick. What happened?
Most didn't work out.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying don't do it again.
Sometimes it does work out.
Guys, they literally told you.
Yeah, but why should fans accept that?
Money.
Why should fans accept that? Well, what's the most expensive ticket in baseball?
The fans can do whatever they want.
What's the most expensive place to go get a beer in Major League Baseball?
Is it Boston?
Yes.
Oh, no. The fans can feel however they want.
Joe, you're accepting bad ownership right now.
I am not.
You're accepting bad ownership.
I'm not accepting. I'm accepting the fact that people are upset today when they told you they're not going to spend. They already told you that. The Celtics told everybody that they want to save money. And everyone was fine with it, right?
Well, they won a title.
Oh, they did in 2018.
They have Jason Tatum on the roster, Jaylen Brown.
2018. I mean, hey, the Red Sox have. Okay. You're making it sound like I'm defending John Henry.
Got your Boston Red Sox footy pajamas on in there.
Well, okay, don't get me wrong. I've done some stuff with Nesson now, and I'm not on the I'm not officially on the payroll or in his owner's box or anything.
Oh, you're not Maz, sitting in the owner's box.
Maz. That is true. But when I saw Alonso to the Orioles, I laughed. And I laughed more that it was the Orioles than anything. Was I like, oh my God, the Red Sox are cheap. John Henry doesn't. And I didn't say any of that.
I think it's more that it was the Orioles.
Yes. I still think that the team can be competitive, not spending over the second CBT. Now, Milliken just thinks it's stupid that they won't, which, okay, fine. There is a new CBA coming up, right?
Oh, we're getting locked out, Joe.
Oh, yeah. So let's lock up guys. The only thing I don't like is, was it Tim Healy? Was he work the Herald? He reported that the Red Sox didn't want to extend on Alonso because of his age. Well, he's 31. Marte's 32. What's Schwarber, 34? Come on. What's Suarez, actually? Is Suarez 34? Suarez is old. Suarez strikes out 200 times a year.
Suarez is 34.
He hits how many home runs? 35?
49 last year.
What do you think he gets?
He batted .228.
Well, they love that. You know why? Because a strikeout is better than a ground out.
Of course. No double plays, Joe.
So if they did sign Suarez, Bregman's done, right?
I would believe so.
Oof. That would be a downgrade. I know he might hit 60 at Fenway. He might. He is 34, though. All right. John's in the car. Hey, John.
Joe, we sat here 24 hours ago, you and I, talking about the pizza barn.
That's right.
And how Pete Alonso would check off every box they need at first base. And we both said the same thing. They're going to screw it up. And they did. It's like poetic justice to me. And I come to the realization that I think I know what the problem is. 20 years ago, when this team was trying to win its first World Series in 100 years, they packed that park with what we called the pink hats. And the pink hats got in everybody's way that had that bloodthirsty shut-in attitude of the Red Sox and how we hated the ownership. And then they went out and won 3 or 4 World Series. And what's happened over time, Joe, in my opinion, is the park has become more important than the team that plays in the park. They have their 2.5, 3 million fans that come from all over the country now to see America's favorite ballpark. And why spend $1 on a player when a family from Oklahoma is going to come watch the Rangers play for their vacation week? It does, you know what I mean? Like the tail's wagging the dog because the park is what drives the revenue and not the team. So here's what I want. I want to be able to have some sort of bake sale or raffle or lottery where when we can put C4 inside of Fenway Park, I want to be the one that pushes the plunger. So then it goes back to needing a baseball team and not worrying about whether or not we fill the stadium with a bunch of people that come in from Atlanta, Georgia for the weekend. That's what's going to fix the Red Sox.
Wow, people are really upset that I wasn't feeling like this driving in. I wanted to start Red Sox. People are pissed. All because of, you know what it is now? You know what it is? They know the name Pete Alonso, right? They know he played in New York. They watched him play. He hits
50 home runs a year.
Well, he has hit a lot of home runs. Yes. I think he would have been a great fit here. And I did want him. I did. I just, no other team was offering that kind of money. Reportedly. And I just think they're going to get creative. It's not the approach of the past. It's not Pablo Sandoval, Carl Crawford, Adrian Gonzalez, Daisuke Matsuzaka, if you want to go back to that. Hey, remember when they lost out on Contreras? Oh, everybody was pissed about that one, remember? Oh, remember when they signed Rusney Castillo because they had to bring him in? They've botched some things, don't get me wrong. And have there been years that they didn't spend? Yes. This is a playoff roster that probably should have went deeper into the postseason, I would say. Probably should have beat the Yankees.
Is Alex Bregman a good signing?
He is, yes.
Or Aldis Chapman?
Absolutely.
You want to add to that?
Yeah, I do. But it's like the dominoes have fallen in 2 days. And I just think that they have a lot of artillery and a lot of levers to pull.
So if they get Alex Bregman back, are they going to sell that as like a massive success?
No,
because that's the same roster as last year.
No, but what I think is, see, the Marte thing for me is real. You know why? Because it's a comfortable contract, but he also smashes baseballs, and he's a good second baseman. They don't, you know, guys. They don't. If you want to say they don't care about the right side of the infield, have at it, Haas. If you want to say that they don't spend on second baseman and first baseman, go ahead.
How about the fact that the Boston Red Sox shouldn't be a team whose big offseason signing is a 32-year-old second baseman?
Well, it was last year.
A second baseman?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure, a third baseman. Oh, remember they're going to move him to second? Devers a third?
The Boston Red Sox should never be in a position where their exciting splash in the offseason is an aging second baseman who's had clubhouse issues in Arizona.
Someone goes, Joe, if your new boss, John Henry, invites you to dinner, just be aware he'll probably ask for separate checks. Let's go to break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5.
Solak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
Red Sox talk tonight, but here we are. Started off with the Red Sox miss out on Schwarber and Alonso, and now Alex Bregman's return is a priority or interested. I had the Bruins 3-game win streak on here. We'll do that later. There's some Josh McDaniels audio I think we should hear. I wanted to talk a little bit about Morgan Geeky as well. Skaz actually sent this earlier today, but are we not talking about him enough? We have in or out coming up in a little bit. Oh, the Patriots take on Josh Allen this weekend. The Celtics begin a 3-game road trip tomorrow. And all that is on the table at 617-779-0985. Justin's in Lynn. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Joe. I just want to tell you, and I've called into the station numerous times. I just want to tell you that I don't think John Henry's cheap. I think it's a different organizational philosophy, and the way to win now is to win by trade, not spend money as much anymore in free agency. I think it's want to be done by trade. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. Justin, you listen every night. You know what I'm saying, bro.
Yes.
Thanks, buddy. See? Justin's on my team. I need someone in my corner. It's Justin from Lynn. Might just be us. But it's like Jerry Maguire. Who's coming with me? You see these Will Fleming tweets I referenced earlier, Skaz? I don't know Will Fleming. Let me just say this. I don't know him. I actually think he does a pretty good job. So, Will, if you're listening, I don't want you to be upset with me. I'm supporting you in bringing, what's the word? I am bringing your issue to the table.
What is his issue?
Well,
for the listening audience.
Okay, so Will Fleming yesterday said, I believe the next 72 hours are going to make a lot of Red Sox fans smile. Way too much chatter and info from people I respect. So that was December 9th. What's today?
Today is the 10th. So it's been 24 hours since that tweet. He still has 48 hours to go.
So 5 hours ago, Will Fleming. Twitter's a pretty reasonable place, huh? Good blank God. I'm a liar. I have no credibility. Did I say they would sign Alonso? I did not. Did I say that I thought they would do things to make the team better? Yes, I did. And I stand by that. 1 hour ago.
Wait, so it's not over? It's not over? There's another one?
Well, I like you. I'm only, I'm doing this.
You're bringing awareness,
Awareness
Joe.
is the word I was looking for. 1 hour ago, Will Fleming. At Will Fleming. I'm all set with this platform. I will miss hearing from and talking to so many Red Sox fans and friends. But it has gotten so toxic and negative. It's not really worth engaging. I thank all of you for being my friends on here and look forward to talking to you on the air. He tapped out.
Is that a retirement from Twitter?
Is that a retirement Twitter? What happens when you retire from Twitter? Do you get like what happens? Does your handle?
I think you go to Blue Sky usually.
Oh, is that what
I think that's what happens.
Because, when you retire from sports, you can get your number retired, right? Or get a plaque. What do you give someone when they retire from Twitter? Is Zoe retired from Twitter?
I don't know. I know he lost his password for a while.
Oh.
I believe, or something to that effect.
I retired from Facebook. I actually got hacked like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook in a long time.
So I'm retired. Will, sometimes we put ourselves out there and things don't go the way that you want sometimes. I would also tell him not to get into the betting world, because when you get a pick wrong, imagine what he would feel like.
But also tell him that he's got 48 hours left.
He's still got time?
He's got plenty of time. Not even halfway over.
I mean, he did say make Red Sox fans smile. I feel bad for him because I think he expected fireworks. Remember? Okay.
Fireworks, Joe.
Right,
Full throttle.
This is where I'm going now. This is where I'm going with it. What was the worst campaign over the years? Because was it Wick who said fireworks? Then they did nothing, right?
Sounds familiar.
Full throttle, Tom Warner. That was a bad one.
It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, that was bad. Oh no, that was Heim Bloom, right?
That was Heim.
Oh, that was. Oh. See, this is why I'm trying to say Craig Breslow was at least transparent. Danny Ainge, by the way, would lie to everyone's. Well, I wouldn't say he lied to everyone's face. He would just be like, "Our roster is not good enough." He would just tell you we need high end talent in the draft. Like Danny Ainge would literally just say it, and you're like, "Okay, Danny, yeah, whatever you do. You don't want to trade your picks, Danny? Okay, yeah, hold them forever, man." I'm trying to think, did the Patriots? Oh, what did the Patriots do? Oh no, what was Gerard Mayo's one? He had one. See, we forget what was Mayo's? What was it? Oh no, he had one, Scaz.
Take him to the hill?
No, that was one of them. No, he had one when he was. Oh no, remember he called. What did he call Robert Kraft? The nickname. Thunder, Big Thunder.
Sounds right.
It was at that press conference though. He said something like,
"We, not me," or something. I forget.
I mean, at least, and again, the Bruins this offseason said they're at least retooling. They didn't say rebuild. They said retool. This is why I'm saying I'm not upset today because
burn cash.
We're going to burn cash. There it is.
Shout out to YouTube chat.
So, hey, Street Team Joe, let's do it. Let's do a poll. What was the worst campaign? Was it Celtics fireworks? Was it Patriots burn cash? Was it full throttle? That's probably the big three, right? Because there's probably nothing else really in there. Full throttle was bad because nothing happened. The burn cash, they burned a lot of it and picks. And the fireworks, well, we got those like years later. I don't know. Are we a poll show? Do we do polls?
I think there's the capability to do it in the YouTube chat.
Do it. You guys know how to do it? Do it.
We'll figure it out.
Full throttle, burn cash, fireworks. I want to know. I'm not upset today. Now, the Blue Jays getting better, that's not cool. And losing to the Orioles, that's a look in the mirror situation, right? Again, I'm coming up with a half-baked reference in my brain when Nasty Nate. You are not a fish. We got to go to the headline here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
No Pete Alonso to the Red Sox. They missed out on Schwarbs and Lons. Is that what they would call him? And Alec, is Breggy still in the mix? Are they going to get a Breg extension? I'll stop. Patriots Bills this weekend. Terrell Jennings not at practice for the pass. Only player not there. Jaden Daniels won't play for Washington this week. Mike Evans out. Actually, he's back for the Bucks. And Sharon Moore, who took over for Jim Harbaugh, dismissed today for inappropriate relationships. I'm not going to touch that one. Headlines, they are brought to you by Valvoliness and Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. You'll save 15% off an extra oil change at Valvoliness and Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Kucherov one-times it toward the net, tipped off Elias Lindholm, and then across and they score! Lindholm tracked it down on the far circle and got it to Geeky for a one-timer. Bruins are back in front.
Everybody, you know who he is, right? The Bruins spent money this offseason, Skaz. They were retooling. They brought back one of their own, and he's number 2, I believe, in all of the NHL in goals. Last night, they get the return of David Pastrnak after missing 5 games. They moved him to the third line. They wanted to keep Steves up with Lindholm and Geeky. And they wanted to keep those 2 lines together. So last night, it was Minton, Pastrnak, and our boy Hoosty. And they moved Tanner Jeannot to the 4th line with Mark Kastelik, who scored 2 goals last night. But for those that love social media, Morgan Geeky walked into the Blues Arena last night, and it was 47 degrees, and he was wearing the same jacket that Zoe has. You know that big puffy? To me, like growing up, Skaz, we had triple fat gooses. I don't know if you remember those. But this is like a big puffy jacket, you know? And I think Geeky posted the photo, the Bruins social posted the photo about Geeks. And then they kind of went back with, hey, man, it's 47 degrees. And then after the game, Morgan Geeky says, 47. Oh, you mean this 47? And it was Mark Kastelik's night of 2 goals. He now has 6 on the season. He got a couple of assists last night from Sean Corrali. But the Geeky social media game is strong, man. There's some aura from that guy. I mean, he called out our very own Kevin Majore. You remember that?
How could I forget? Poor Kevin.
So I'm saying how cool he is, but Skaz, are we talking about Morgan Geeky enough? Is he underappreciated? Is he getting the proper respect that he deserves?
I think we're going to find out, a lot when the Olympic conversation comes around, if he should be on Team Canada. I think that's certainly going to be a talking point. I think he scored the most goals in the calendar year in the NHL, ahead of guys obviously like Connor McDavid, Kucherov, Draisaitl, household names. And I'm not saying that Morgan Geeky should be considered a household name at this point, but what he's doing, not only this season, but last season as well, he's becoming a legit star in that league. And you're seeing him on, Spittin' Chicklets. You're seeing him talking about on NHL Network. It's been kind of a while since the Bruins have had, a guy kind of come out of nowhere. We knew about Pastrnak, obviously Bergeron, Marchand were here forever, Krejci, kind of their big name players, but Morgan Geeky's a guy who was a 3rd, 4th liner, brought over, didn't score a ton of goals, and then all of a sudden you put him with David Pastrnak, and the guy's scoring more than anybody in the league. So, yeah, I think Morgan Geeky is kind of an underappreciated story, around town right now with what's going on with the Patriots and, the Red Sox at the winter meetings and even the Celtics going on a good little run. This Bruins team is certainly impressed me what Marco Sturm's done, kind of changing the culture there. You just listen to these guys talk after the game, and I know that's just talk, but look at what they do on the ice. They look lackadaisical in the first period last night, and they come back and they basically blow out the Blues in the next 2 periods. And it's guys like Kastelik and Steves and Tanner Jeannot didn't get an assist on one of those goals, but he makes the play happen, creates one of those goals along the boards there, and he's a guy we kind of all, I don't want to say trashed, because we knew he was an okay solid player, but the money they spent on him certainly wasn't well received by the fan base. But I think this team deserves to be talked about, and I think Morgan Geeky especially deserves to be talked about for what he's doing on the ice.
So they haven't had a personality since Marchand, right? I like this. I think this can get over. I hope the fans get behind him. That was good last night.
Good wholesome fun.
Yeah, the Kevin Majore, that's good stuff, right? The 47. Oh, you mean this 47, Kastelik? Oh, it was good. I like a nice little social media team battle. By the way, speaking of that, I have reached out to Ann May.
They try to get some baked goods, Joe?
I'm in on Bakemas. So, Ann May.
And And is it Michael May?
And Michael May. How you doing? I'm Joe Murray. I work here at 98.5 The Sports. By your husband, I work the broadcast that he plays games on. And I love baked goods. And none of my interns' moms will make me baked goods.
It's not exactly true from what I've heard, Joe. I've heard there's something on the way next week.
Well, listen, until it happens, okay? I'm now depending on Mrs. May. Should I call her Mrs. May?
I mean, I think it's appropriate.
I think the best collab that could happen is Michael May, Mrs. May, and Joe Murray doing a collab for Bakemas. Now, what would I want, Skaz? I already know what I would want if she asked. If she asked.
Look, I'm 110% in on this idea, but I do think there's one person missing, Joe.
Are you talking about Street Team Joe?
Of course.
Well,
he's a star.
Do you think she would want to entertain the both of us? Well, actually, Skaz, Joe already knows Drake May.
They have met.
You guys already have met.
He's got an in.
That's true. But, and Michael May. Hello, Mrs. May. I'm Joe again. I host the cleverly named Joe Murray Show. I would like to bake with you.
Now, are you a baker, Joe?
I am not a baker, but I'll eat a baker's dozen.
What? Give me Joe Murray's. We always talk top fives when Street Team Joe's around. Give me a couple of your favorites, baked goods.
I'm simple.
You want like brownies, cookies?
Cookies, brownies, cannoli dip. Oh, I love banana bread. But do you know what I want Mrs. May to make me? I want brownie cheesecake, Mrs. May. I would like to make brownie cheesecake with you for Bakemas. And I don't know how we could make this happen. I'll wear an apron if you'd like me to. We have an air fryer here. I don't know if that helps or not. Do we have an oven here? But if you're listening, Mrs. May, I want to do Bakemas with you. And Drake doesn't have to be there. If he wants to be there, we can be taste testers. Do you remember when you'd lick the spoon? Do you think I'd get to lick the spoon?
No comment.
No, come on. You know when you make brownies? I'm not going there, Skaz. Get your mind out of the gutter. Have you been watching these videos, though?
Of course. I'm enthralled. I saw David Andrews said he hasn't really thought about coming out of retirement at all, but seeing these videos has made him question.
But come on. Who better to collab?
I think it's you.
With Michael May.
It's you.
I did. I hit her up on TikTok.
Well, you're a TikToker, Joe.
Yes, I am. But what's so funny? I'm going to go on there right now. Let me see if I get any messages. We got an in or out coming up next. Let's see. I sent it last night.
There's real issues.
No. Man, what do I got to do? Wonder if she listens. Maybe she's listening now. Well, if you are Ann Michael May, Mrs. May, Drake May's wife, 617-779-0985. I would like to talk baking with you, and I would like to get baked with you.
Getting baked with Joe Murray is a show I would certainly sign up for. Multiple meetings there.
So I used to do a show called The Sports Blast, and I needed to come up with T-shirts. So the saying that I used, Skaz, was, get blasted.
Getting baked with Joe Murray.
Let's get baked.
From cookies to cannabis,
Is she calling in?
I don't believe so, Joe.
Well, you just let me know back there, guys. Street Team Joe, you keep an eye on Mark. Because, again, you're friends with Drake May. You've already met him. So I really, really would love this. It'd be like a Christmas miracle.
You think we get a Tommy DeVito doing the 7 fishes or something like that?
I already can set that up if you want me to.
I feel like, we got to corner the market here.
We did the cannolis the other day. We went from New Jersey to New York to Boston.
I did see
We tried all
picture.
the cannolis.
I saw a very nice picture of you and Mr. DeVito there.
And I was with Sean Stiletto as well. Stellato. Sorry. And he was wearing a hat and brown. He was in character.
In character.
Well, anyways, and Michael May, you're doing a great job. You're like Mrs. Claus. You have been.
She's Mrs. New England.
She's been. Drake May is Santa.
Forget Jordan Hudson. Miss New England. We're going with Miss May. This is Michael May and Michael May.
Miss May. May I? Let's get baked. We got In or Out coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And none of my interns' moms will make me bake goods.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is
AI Joe, doesn't it?
A little bit,
Because
yes.
he's a little skinnier than I am, but like you could tell he was large once, though, right?
Exercise, I would say. I don't know if I'd qualify it as a game.
The last thing Skaz and I discussed last night is now a bit. This is your last day, bro. Monday, right?
Yeah.
All right.
What are we doing?
It's going to be a fun night.
It will be fun.
Should I be excited,
Yes.
nervous, a little bit of both?
Excited.
Excited. I would leave excitement on the radar. All right. It's in or out. What do we got?
All right, Joe. Wednesday night edition of In or Out. Let's start Morgan Geeky. We talked about him briefly before. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Morgan Geeky making Team Canada?
In. Why not? Isn't it about the best players? Is he one of the best players? Or is he one of the best number guys? Is he best player or number? Marchand's going to be on the team, right?
I would have to think so, if healthy.
I'm in. There's gonna be a lot there to not put him on that team. Plus injuries and things of that degree.
All right, Joe. The Philadelphia Eagles, having somewhat of a down year this season, recently brought in a positivity rabbit to the locker room.
I've already talked about this
the
thing.
Easter Bunny.
Out.
Not in on the positivity
They need
rabbit.
more than positivity. They need like a intervention. By the way, why would you go with a bunny? Who the hell wants bunnies? You ever seen
I've seen bunnies, Joe.
You ever see Donnie Darko?
Yes.
One of his visions was this crazy bunny.
There are also, good bunnies out there, Joe. Peter Cottontail.
Yeah, remember the bunny in Frosty the Snowman? That would take the hat?
Remember, it was Bambi's friend there. He was a little bunny.
Famous bunnies. Roger Rabbit.
Okay, famous bunny. Bugs Bunny.
Bugs.
Probably number one. Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny. What about Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny, famous bunny.
Did you hear Joe laugh in the background?
Judy Hopps, Mark chimes in from Zootopia.
Okay, all right. But this magic bunny that you're talking about, what is this called again? With the Eagles bunny?
The, what was it called? Let me get the exact wording here. The Positivity Rabbit. Bee Rabbit, also a famous
that's right.
rabbit.
That's right. I can't. Next.
Joe, Phillip Rivers joining the Colts this week with potential to maybe play this weekend. We'll see about that. But are you in or out on Phillip Rivers' return being a bad look for the NFL and coaching?
I heard some crap story about he's been calling Shane Steichen and talking high school offenses and stuff like that. And they've been in touch and all that stuff. Are you buying it? Phillip Rivers needs to stay home with his 10 kids.
Yes.
He can't be on the road coaching.
His grandkids, too.
That's true. Ooh, you know what? I will say this. I respect Phillip Rivers, but he was a snotty loser.
He's kind of a bitch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was trying to be a little cleaner. I will say, though, I did go to the 08 AFC Championship game, and he played on a torn ACL while LaDainian Tomlinson dressed and didn't play like a little bitch. So, LT's a Hall of Famer, and he was great. Maybe we'll ask John Sarianides about that one.
But don't you think it is a bad look that, the NFL is in such a place with quarterback play that they have to call a guy that's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame to play?
They are calling a guy that hasn't played in 5 years. While Tyler Haneke, do I ever say his name right?
Taylor Heineke.
I'll never get it right. It's just never going to happen. I have all those Desmond Ridder cards, too. When's he going to get a shot again? Do you think Tommy DeVito's I want my release, I want to go play for the Colts?
Hang around, see what happens in the playoff first,
No, Tommy can't leave. I'm trying to get Tommy tips at Dom's. Anything else?
That is going to wrap up a Wednesday night edition of In or Out. We got John Sarianides coming up next.
He wants to go on Zoom, he said.
He's already in there, Joe.
John.
I'm looking at him right now.
All right, John. I want you to think about sugar-free cookies, dipping them in eggnog, and potentially chocolate eggnog. Next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. John Sarianides is joining us. He's from New England Football Journal. He's been busy with the high school Super Bowls. He's got his. It just happened to work out during the Patriots bye week, so you didn't have to worry about double dipping. We'll get into some dipping in a little bit here. But, John, how are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, man?
All right. Well, before we get to the football stuff, I'm trying to do a collab with Mrs. May, Drake May's wife. She is doing Bakemas. Have you been watching it all?
I have, yes. I've been following her daily recipes for Bakemas.
So I would like to collab with her, and I have put the Joe signal out, and I would like to bake with her and get baked with her. And I don't know if Drake would like to join as well, and I don't know if you know her.
No, hold on. I need some clarification here. Do you want to bake with her or get baked with her?
Both.
Where are we going with this?
Both.
Both.
I want to.
So you want to get baked and baked? That would be interesting.
Yes, and I wonder if they would like to hang out with me, because I would love if she could make a brownie cheesecake.
I think she can make the brownie cheesecake. I'm just not sure she would go for the other part of it.
No, I'm not even talking about that part of getting baked. I just want to do a video with her.
I'm in on that. Since you're coming off In and Out, I'm in on that. I'm in on you doing a video with Ann Michael and baking.
How do I get that to happen? What else can I do?
I guess the starting point might be to reach out to the Patriots and see if they can get you in touch with Miss May, and then, or if she has representation, and if she does, then you can propose working together and see what she says.
You know what, John? I know a guy.
I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. So,
and I know you. So, okay, I'm going to work on this.
Yeah, I don't think you want to throw my name around.
Well,
I don't think it'll get you very far. Remember, the goal is to get in the door, and you mention my name, you're going to stay outside the door.
Well, we probably know a guy. So the Patriots play this weekend. The Bills, it's a big one. They're off a bye. Did you know that Mike Vrabel's 6-0 off a bye? Did you know that?
I did. It's a fun fact.
What are you thinking about this weekend? I like what I've seen from the Bills of late. I think they do have warts, don't get me wrong. Did you know the Patriots have gone 8 straight games without trailing in a fourth quarter? None of their games have been competitive in a fourth quarter. I've watched the Bills for back-to-back weeks now. Well, whether it was the Texans when they lost or beating Baltimore or even last week against Joe Burrow. I feel like they're getting going. I'm not saying they're playing better. I think they're getting going. I actually like Buffalo this week.
Yeah, I can see why you would. I agree with you that they're getting going, that they're starting to play better. This is going to be the Patriots' toughest game of the season. I don't think that's hyperbole. They've had some tough ones, especially earlier on in the season, but I think this is going to be their toughest. Look, Buffalo has controlled this division now for the last 5 years. They're not just going to give it to you. You're going to have to take it from them. I think that they're going to come in here on Sunday. They're going to play arguably their best game of the season. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be desperate. They know not only is the division on the line, but playoff seeding potentially. If I'm the Patriots, yes, you've had 2 weeks, which is good. You're rested. You've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game in terms of the coaching staff. But I think Buffalo's going to throw everything at them, including the kitchen sink. It's a must-win for them. If I were the Patriots, be ready for a 4-quarter war, just like you saw in that first matchup on Sunday Night Football. You know what, Joe? I tend to lean with you here. I've been staying away from picking against them during the course of this 10-game winning streak, and obviously they played lesser teams. But something tells me Buffalo's going to come in here ready to play, and they're going to play well. And that scares me only because when you get a bye this late, you could potentially lose your mojo. We saw that in 2021 with the Patriots. They were the 1 seed going into the bye. By the end of that season, they had finished 10-7 and were a wild card. So I'm not saying that's going to happen this time. However, coming off a bye, you could lose a little bit of your momentum. This is going to be a tough game for the Patriots either way, whether you pick them or pick Buffalo.
Give me the coach side of it defensively. How do you stop Drake May? That's a great question. I don't know if anyone can answer that, but how do you defend this week Drake May and Josh Allen?
Well, starting with Drake May, I mean, look, you have to attack the Patriots' vulnerability up front, and that's the left side of their offensive line with Lowe and Brown, of course. And what I would do is a lot of overload pressure. I would bring two to a side. I would bring slot pressure. I would also do a lot in terms of sim pressure and twists up front if I were the Bills to try to free up guys to get to Drake May. One of the things we could say about Drake May is he has struggled at times this season with A-gap, B-gap pressure. So I would attack the left side of that offensive line. I would do a lot of overload stuff, and I would attack all four gaps. I would attack A, B, C, and D-gap with my pressure packages, and I would try to throw him off his spot and get him moving. The other thing I would do if I were the Bills is, and this applies to Josh Allen as well, sugar rush, slow play it on the edge. Don't just get into those wide 5 techniques and come up the field. Both defenses are going to have to be, they're going to have to slow play it on the outside. They're going to have to be disciplined. They're going to have to stay in their rush lanes because both of these quarterbacks can take off. As far as the Patriots are concerned with Josh Allen, look, you're not going to stop him. You can only hope to contain him, and I know that sounds generic. He's going to get his. I think what you need to do is get this team into second and long, third and long as much as possible because that receiving core is not very good. If I were the Patriots, I would play a ton of man coverage this week, and I would do a lot of different things with my fronts, my pressures, and the way I try to keep Josh Allen in the pocket. A lot of sugar rushing, a lot of I would designate a spy. I would do a lot of that stuff with my fronts because, again, if you can get them in the second and third and medium and long and make them have to throw the football to beat you, you're actually going to be better off because you don't want him taking off when things break down and extending plays, and you don't want them feeling comfortable running him on designed stuff. So it's really going to be about a disciplined pass rush, but also front variance and pressure variance, and that applies to both quarterbacks and how both defenses attack them.
Do you think the Patriots are giving up more rushing yards without Milton Williams in the lineup?
Absolutely. They're not the same defense. I mean, he was disruptive. He can one gap, two gap. He can reset the line of scrimmage with penetration, but he was also good enough to stack blocks and shed and make plays. They miss his presence inside. And quite frankly, I don't think Christian Barmore has been as good without him either. So, and I know Barmore played decent a couple weeks ago, but again, I think they miss him, especially against the run. And you're seeing it with the way their linebackers are playing. Offensive lines have been able to get to the second level and get on those guys. You got to get Milton Williams back because I think if they do, he's a disruptive enough force inside that he's going to help their run defense get back to the level that we've seen them play at for most of this season.
All right, we're talking with John Sarianides. He's from New England Football Journal. The reason why I said, hey, how do you defend Drake Mays? He crushes everything, right? Whether you blitz him, whatever you do to him, he's been absolutely outstanding. John, you'll relate to this one. This was my take last night, but I feel like this game is so important for Buffalo. Like, they're in the playoffs no matter what. If they lose the game, Buffalo's still in it, right? But this is still a chance for them to knock off the Patriots. Like, last year, they tanked so they couldn't get the number 1 pick, right? So they don't want to just give the Patriots the AFC East. Like, no way. But the more I look at this one is, I think about when Jordan was out in the NBA, right? And it was the Rockets who won 2 championships. Like, Hakeem got his, right? Because Jordan was gone. Well, there potentially is no Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson's fighting for everything. They just knocked out Joe Burrow, right? If you look at it in the AFC, Josh Allen is the cream of the crop when it comes to quarterbacks. And to me, I feel like there's more urgency and pressure on them, not to mention their coaches' jobs on the line. I just feel like it's just an absolute must win and an absolute disappointment if they can't make it to a Super Bowl. And if you look at the odds, the Bills have better Super Bowl odds than the Patriots.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. This is their shot now, especially as it stands. Mahomes and the Chiefs are probably out. You mentioned Lamar Jackson banged up earlier this season. He's struggling. The Ravens have struggled. Not only has he struggled, but their defense has been terrible for most of the season. Burrow doesn't look like he's going to be a factor. The Bengals are all but done. They're probably not going to get in at 8-9, even if they win out. So, look, there's a clear pathway there now for Josh Allen, and that's why I think it's so important for them to win this game this week. Because if you want to take advantage of that clear path to potentially getting to Santa Clara and playing in a Super Bowl, you've got to win this game reassert your presence in the division, but more importantly, reassert yourself in the conference. Because now if Buffalo comes in here on Sunday, beats the Patriots, the narrative changes now. Now it's more, well, you know what? This might still be Buffalo's conference. It might be there for them now that Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Baltimore look vulnerable and don't appear like they're going to be playoff teams. And so I think there's a lot at stake here. You also mentioned the Sean McDermott factor. His job's on the line. If they don't get to a Super Bowl, I think he's toast. So there's a lot of different variables that are going to go into this game for the Bills, but the Bills need this one. This is a must-win for them. It's not necessarily a must-win for the Patriots, but for Buffalo it is. And again, it's not just the division that's at stake here. There's a lot more at stake here. Playoff seeding and the potential to go on a Super Bowl run here, something that this organization and fan base has been clamoring for, especially in recent years.
John, you see the rise of these quarterbacks, Drake May, Bo Nix, right? Caleb Williams is doing outstanding in Chicago right now. Well, his team's doing well. But what's going on here? Why is Lamar Jackson struggling? What happened to the Chiefs this year? Clearly, Stafford's playing at an elite level, but I think Goff's taken a step back, right? Like just the top level of QBs, I feel like it's down a little bit, but in the AFC, it's y'all young quarterbacks and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think when you look at Kansas City, I'll start there. I think that their offensive line, even though they revamped it this offseason, has been a bit of a problem. Mahomes has been a poor decision maker now for 3 years. He's gotten away with it because they've won enough and gotten to the Super Bowl and won Super Bowls that he's masked it. But he's turned the ball over a lot the last 3 years. That's a problem for him. In the case of Lamar Jackson, I think the injury at the beginning of the year really set him back. He hasn't been the same since he came back, and it shows. He's struggling. I think Todd Monken has struggled as a play caller as well. I don't think he did a good job when Jackson was out, and I don't particularly think he's done a good job now that he's back. I think the bigger issue for Baltimore is their defense. Zach Orr did a nice job with that group last year, but they have not been the same. A lot of the talent is back. It's all the same faces pretty much, but they have really, really struggled to get pressure on the quarterback, and they've also struggled on the back end. They're not as good as they usually are in coverage. And obviously with Cincinnati, Joe Burrow with the turf toe injury misses a bunch of time. That derails their season. They appear to be toast. But I do think that the guys that we have considered at least the last 3 or 4 years as the cream of the crop in the AFC in particular, those guys, for whatever reason, and it's a variety of reasons really, have taken a step back, and that has opened the door for young guys like Drake May and Bo Nix to step up and show what they can do, and they've done a lot, obviously with the Broncos and the Patriots being your top 2 seeds in the conference. But let's not also forget about Justin Herbert with the Chargers. He's banged up also. But we know when he's healthy how good he can be. But again, outside of Josh Allen, these elite-level guys, they've struggled for a variety of reasons. And I think a lot of it is team reasons and injuries. Their teams aren't as good. And I think the injuries, and to a certain degree, especially with Kansas City, I think age is starting to catch up with them as well.
Like, we could do the whole what's a better 8-year run, the Chiefs and Mahomes or Brady in the Pats. Brady did miss a season. And I believe he was always in playoff contention except for his second year. And when they made the wild card, I think they won the Super Bowl. Mahomes might have more wins, and I think might have went to more Super Bowls. I can't remember. I think so. But in the end, do you ever look at that like, wow, the Chiefs dynasty versus the Pats dynasty? Because this is why I bring up Mahomes. Can he reinvent himself? Like, I'm not calling him fat. Don't think. I'm not saying that. But doesn't he have to do something to reinvent himself, to have that second run? He's getting paid a lot of money. Does he have that in him?
I think he has it in him. The bigger question is, do the Chiefs have it in them? They need to reset this roster. They got to move on from Travis Kelce. He's not the same player that he was a couple of years ago. They've got to move on from Jawan Taylor and some of these high-priced veterans. And they got to turn the roster over. They got to get younger at some spots, especially along the offensive line. They got to get younger at tight end. They've got to find a running back that can actually carry the ball more than 10 times a game, not this committee approach that they've taken the last couple of years with Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. I said this last offseason, Joe. I think for the Chiefs to have that second act, they needed to turn the roster over. They should have moved on from Travis Kelce after last offseason. They didn't. I think they're regretting it a little bit now. I think they have to this offseason, and I'm not putting it all on him. I'm not saying that it's Mr. Taylor Swift's fault. All I'm saying is he's a prime example of how this roster is on the older side now. And one of the reasons why Belichick was able to keep the Patriot dynasty going, aside from Brady taking team-friendly deals, was his willingness to turn the roster over. It's a young man's game. You want to have as many guys on your roster that are on their first and second contracts as possible. If the Chiefs want to get back into Super Bowl contention after this season, they're going to need to do that. They're going to need to make some hard decisions with some staple veterans that have been a big part of their Super Bowl teams in recent years. But they're going to need to do that if they want to get back into contention, because it's not going to be with this roster. This roster is not good enough for them next year to get back into contention.
You giving up on the Eagles?
No, I'm not giving up on the Eagles simply because I think the NFC is wide open. I think anybody can come out of the NFC. You mentioned the Bears. I'm not sure how much I'd buy them, but they went toe-to-toe with the Packers on Sunday. And Caleb Williams, even though I'm not a big Caleb Williams guy, he made some big throws for them when he needed to in the second half last week. But I'm not out on the Eagles. I still think when they're healthy and on, they have the best team in the NFC. But the NFC is so wildly unpredictable right now. Anybody can come out of there. Whereas if Buffalo comes in here and wins on Sunday, you can start to have the conversation as them being the potential favorite in the AFC.
Your Packers can do wonders this week with a win on the road in Denver.
They can help a lot of people, including themselves and the Patriots. It's going to be a tough game for them, but Jordan Love is starting to play like Jordan Love usually does this time of year. My concern with them is their defense. Their defense was absolute dog crap in the second half the other day. And I know a lot of people are applauding Williams, and he did make some big plays, but I thought that was more a product of the fact that for whatever reason the Packers couldn't stop the run anymore, and that opened stuff up in the play-action passing game. And to Williams' credit, he took advantage of some of those throws down the field. I do have concerns about this Packer defense. As good as they are, they do take their foot off the gas, but as you know, Joe, Denver's a tough place to play. I think it's going to be a tough place for anybody to win, regular season or playoffs.
All right, John, one more, and then I want to ask you some high school stuff. But who will be the next head coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously, this comes out of left field today with Sharon Moore, and it's a story that's taken a couple of turns here this evening. It's kind of sad. You hope it's not anything too serious. He is in police custody as of tonight. Who knows what's going on there? A couple of names that I think you're going to hear. Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator for the Chargers, formerly Jim Harbaugh's defensive coordinator there. The only reason I would say he might not be in the running as much as he probably should be is his connection to Connor Stallions and that whole scandal there a couple of years ago. I think he's a name to keep an eye on. And then I think you're going to have an established coach, a guy like a Jed Fish in Washington who coached with Harbaugh at Michigan, extensive experience, a guy that's turned around programs, also has NFL experience. Michigan has always liked that in their coaches in recent years. I could see him being a candidate. Those are a couple of names that I think make sense, and there are going to be other ones as well, but it's kind of late in the hiring cycle now, so they may have to go the interim route for a year before they open it up and bring in somebody who they want ultimately. They also want to give things a chance to shake out this offseason and next season, but if you're looking for early names, those are two early names to keep an eye on.
Marcus Freeman would be somebody I would take a look at. I'm wondering if Jed Fish would get consideration. You Minter as well. You mentioned him. Would Lincoln Riley leave USC for Michigan? That would be one that I'd be interested in. And would Jim Harbaugh ever go back to Michigan?
I don't see that. I think he's NFL for life now. But I mean, again, I think Minter is a strong candidate. I mean, you got Biff Poggi, who's on the staff there, who's been a head coach before. He's going to step in and now be the interim. He was the interim earlier this year when Moore was suspended. I think he gets, if they go the interim route, I think he's going to get a long look. He's well-liked and respected. Old friend Steve Kasula, who is the co-offensive coordinator there now. He was UMass's offensive coordinator a couple of years ago. He could take a more prominent role in the program, but I would not be surprised, Joe, if they went the interim route. I think it's a long shot, but it wouldn't shock me at the end of the day.
I wonder who Dave Portnoy wants.
Maybe Dave Portnoy wants the job.
He's got the money.
He's got the money. He's been doing the Fox college pregame show there, so he's immersed himself. He probably thinks he's an X and O guy like most people. Maybe they give him a shot. Coach Portnoy.
He'll be doing pizza reviews on the sideline. So I watched the Super Bowls. Congratulations to King Philip.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys had a good one. I watched Catholic Memorial win, and then I watched the entire St. John's Prep Zavarian game. I know a lot of the talk has been about the kid Vargas, right? He was hurt. I went to the game. He got hurt. I don't think he was right, but I want to give credit to that kid Wood from Zavarian, dude. He had 5 touchdowns, but on the game-clinching 4th down, they went I formation. They faked the handoff. He did the old Doug Flutie rollout. You know that nice little rollout play that you remember from him?
Boot keep.
The bootleg, it won him the game. The fact that St. John's Prep didn't play well and only lost by a touchdown, I was a little impressed by that. That kid Wood, though, considering the star power of Vargas, I was really impressed by Zavarian, who won 3 in a row, which is really hard to do.
It really is hard to do. It's their second time that they've done it since the early 90s. And it's the first time that a program has won 3 in a row in this format, the statewide format, at the Division I level. Of course, West Boylston was going for 4 in a row this year. They had previously done it. So another team has done it in the format, but this is the first time that a D1 program did it since we went to the statewide format. It's the first time since ever did it from 01 to 03 under John DiBiase. That was a hell of a game. It wasn't the best game of the day, though. I thought Situate-Tewksbury, that 42-41 game, was the best game of the day. In many ways, though, that was a preview of things to come for that St. John's Prep team. They're loaded next year. You got Vargas back, Riley Selve, a wide receiver, Maxwell Parent, Jordan Toribio, a running back. I mean, they're loaded. But hat tip to Alfanaro and that Zavarian program to win 3 in a row. I really don't think people realize how hard that is to do at any level of football, any level in any sport, really. But kudos to those guys. You mentioned Will Wood, 5 touchdown passes, throws for over 350 yards. He is the dude. He's got a couple of FBS offers. He's only going to get more offers this offseason. He's special. He's coming back next year. Zavarian should once again be pretty good again next year. They'll start the season probably as one of the top 3 teams in the state. But you know what? If you're St. John's Prep, there's no silver lining here. You lost 2 games in a span of a week to your rival, including a state title game. But if you're Brian St. Pierre, the coaching staff, the fans of the program, you've got a lot of talent coming back next year. They should be the favorite each of the next 2 years in Division I with what they have coming back.
Well, I will say this. I do think that high school football is really improved around here. Like from your day to my day to now, holy smokes, man. It's not Texas or Florida, but it's certainly improved.
Well, it's not Texas or Florida because those are bigger states that produce more talent. But you got to remember, we have almost 7 million people in Massachusetts. And for a period of time there, you could probably make the argument that Connecticut played the best high school football in New England. But now it is clearly Massachusetts. And don't get me wrong, Connecticut plays good high school football. In fact, they have their state title games this weekend. We'll be covering all 6 of them. But Massachusetts is the best high school football state in New England. We've seen that the past 25 years, really. But the bigger thing now is, and to your point, you're producing more talent now. And I think that is the difference. You didn't used to produce this much talent, but I do think it's also partly due to the fact that your population has increased, which means you're producing more talent because you have more people. So Massachusetts, in my opinion, nationally speaking, is probably a top 25 football state, and it's only getting better. Now, the issue is numbers are decreasing across the board. They have been now for about 4 or 5 years in terms of participation. We got to get those numbers back up because, as I tell people all the time, Joe, if you want to play a sport that can give you a potential pathway to a scholarship, football is still your best chance. It's not an acquired skill sport. There aren't certain physical requirements. While there aren't the physical requirements of a basketball. You don't need to be able to throw in your mid-90s like you do in baseball, or you don't need to be this standout hockey player to get an opportunity. In football, it's more about physical ability and skill than it is about an acquired skill like shooting or passing a ball or a puck. So if we can get the numbers back up and get more kids playing, I think you're going to see the game continue to grow at unprecedented levels in Massachusetts.
All right, he's John Sarianides. Check out his work, New England Football Journal. He has the hat that, if you saw John Cena, has hustle, loyalty, respect. I like that hat that you're rocking. And, this Saturday night. This Saturday night, dude, what do you think? Is Cena going to tap out?
This is it, his final match. I'm still waiting for a swerve here, by the way. I want something to happen, like The Rock comes out and says, nope, you work for me. I still control your soul. You can't go anywhere yet. I'm waiting for a swerve. It's not going to happen. They wouldn't have gone through all this trouble for a swerve, but it would be awesome. But I don't know. It's his final match. I mean, is he going to go out the same way Kurt Angle did? We'll see. He could. He could potentially tap out and lose. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think it would be. He's always been a company guy, so I could totally see him doing the job.
Yeah, maybe Travis Scott comes back or something.
Yeah, I know, but why? Do we need him back?
No. Actually, I heard he no-showed.
I need him back about as much as I need a kick in the coconuts. Come on.
Well, listen, I'm going to say, have you ever dipped a cookie Oreo in eggnog?
See, I'm not an eggnog fan, so I might not be the right person to ask. It's okay, but it's too sweet for me. I'm not a sweets guy.
Well, then I won't invite you to Bakemas.
Neither will Ann Michaels. She won't be inviting me or you to Bakemas.
Well, John, if it happens, I'm going to FaceTime you.
You should FaceTime me. FaceTime me from the main residence and be like, I'm here. Take that.
I'll let you and Drake hang out while me and Mrs. May hang out and we get
Oh,
baked.
that would be awesome. I could just hang out with Drake and have him say, shoot. I mean, shoot.
Shoot, man.
Shoot. Oh, man, shoot.
John Sarianides, everybody. Check out New England Football Journal. You'll find out everything about, and then we got basketball, you got everything. I know it's football, but you guys do a lot of stuff, and you do a lot of recruiting and where guys are going to college and all that stuff. So go follow them over there, New England Football Journal. John, I appreciate you, man. Let's catch up soon.
Appreciate you back, brother. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys. Peace.
You got it. All right. Thank you, John. We got to go to break. Skaz, of course, I lost time. I was having so much fun talking eggnog. I forgot what happened. Let's go to the headline. I'm Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right. Red Sox missed out on a lot. Pete Alonso, though, that's the name. 5 years, $155 million, which really isn't a lot of money. Is it? Well, I would love that money. The Red Sox offer was not close. They're now hopeful to sign Alex Bregman. Patriots-Bills this weekend. And who will be the new head coach of Michigan? Because Sharon Moore is out and it's not pretty. Headlines, they're brought to you by our good friends, because they are. Over at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandoilChange.com. You can save 50% off your next transfer oil change. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray.
Takes the snap, rolling to his right. He's being chased by Judon. Drake May on the run for the 5. Gets away.
Drake May knows it.
Boston, he's the best sports city in the world.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Something down from Musings. Why am I forgetting what it is? Anyways, maybe if you want to call in with your own music.
I mean, I moved recently, so I'm in transition, but I think I've found a barber, yes.
Will you go to your old barber until you find your new barber?
No, I've seen this barber twice now in my area, and I think I'm going to make the move, unfortunately. If I'm ever in the area, I will still see the old barber.
I'm not. I have a beard and I'm bald.
Both true. Yeah, I can co-sign that.
But
you need some maintenance every once in a while, some upkeep.
I need upkeep. I can do it myself, but sometimes the lines aren't right. But this was my musings today. Like, has anyone had the same barber forever?
My dad. My father has gone to the same, and I think now that he's in New York, obviously, less frequently, but my entire life, yes, he's had the same barber. Omar, shout out Omar.
Shout out Omar.
Great guy.
Did you ever watch The Wire? Remember Omar?
Oh, Omar's coming.
Hangouts, getting haircuts together.
I've gone to a couple barbershops where there's, some games on, something like that.
Like, what if, are there mobile barbers?
I know big companies that will have a barber come to the company on designated days so people at the company can get haircuts.
Well, what about here? What about before the show?
I don't know if we have enough employees for that.
What about
show.
for me? I don't care about everybody else.
Well, I think you would probably have to pay for that.
Well, I will.
You could find a mobile barber, I'm sure. In this day and age, why not?
Mobilebarber.com. But no, it's guys so I have a barber.
Oof.
That was bad. Comfort.
Is that the Kevin you're talking about?
No, I was thinking of who's our Luke. I was thinking of, he's in Belmont. Sometimes I mix them up in my brain. You ever think about that?
I talked to Luke recently, this week actually. He texted me.
They almost remind me of each other, but
they have
not.
Comfort, some similarities.
No, they would. I don't know if they'd be friends.
They would be friends.
You think so?
Yes.
See, I like Kevin because he's from West Roxbury.
He's got the aura.
And he's cut. Yeah, that's right. I have the T-shirts. And his mom made us baked goods.
That's true. Nice sweatshirts as well.
Yeah, great sweatshirts. Great gifts. And he's from West Roxbury, and he's friends with his cousin. And I are friends.
He knows a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? There's another intern that we have that does Patriots, and I know him too from my buddy.
I heard you had some inside info on an excused absence, I'll say. Maybe not so excused.
Listen, you ain't getting nothing past me.
Certainly not, Joe. They'll try, but it'll fail.
Anyways, so I moved to the North Shore, and it's hard to... wow!
What is going on,
What
Joe?
the hell is going on with me? It's hard to find a good barber. I have a guy, but I don't have a guy. But I got a guy. My guy, Kevin, he's in Winchester. It's Tonsor Lounge. And I haven't seen him in a year. Literally a year. I go in today. I see him. And we hugged it out. And he's like, yo, I got your photo on the wall, man. I tell everybody, I cut your hair. And I'm like, I miss you, man. Fix me. Fix me. He goes, I'm tied up, but my son can help you. And I was like, you know what?
Passing of the torch.
So his kid Look at this.
It's the first thing I said to you
Look
today,
at this.
Joe.
Looks good, huh?
I said, yeah, a nice lineup there.
And I'm like, hey, man, can I book an appointment with you? So I booked it for the 23rd.
Festivus.
Your birthday.
That it is, Joe, yeah.
Your birthday. Because it's funny, when I went to pull it up on my phone, it said Skaz's birthday.
Wow, look at that. In the phone.
No, well, Skaz, to be honest with you, Google, like, picks up things. So I don't think
they're always listening.
I don't think I entered your birthday in my phone.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Like, I found out it was Andy Wong's birthday the other day when I went, whoa, it's Andy Wong's birthday. But my phone just now knows.
I guess there's worse things your phone could be telling you.
Oh, I don't like that. I had to do a reset or whatever you call it, restore. I hate it.
Was it an update?
I hate it now.
What don't you like?
Dude, everything. It's got like way more options and like I have fat fingers, so like,
Would you say that
it's hard to
it's hard to use, Joe?
It's hard to use. It's hard. So when I went to dialect class, because that's how I learned how to lose my Boston accent, everyone's always brings up the term park the car and Harvard Yard, right? I hate that, by the way. Somebody from Boston, car, had. I hate that. But for me, it's when I have a lot of R's in a row that I get confused about. So, like, do you have a hard time finding a barber? But if I was saying it, do you have a hard time finding a baba? Right? So I've learned now how to...
Joe, what do you call youth football?
Pop Warner. You got me. You want to know what's another one that I can't ever get right? You know the thing you open, like you put your socks in? What do you call that?
Your bureau, Joe.
It's a drawer.
A drawer, yes.
It's a drawer. It ain't a drawer. It's a drawer. Just like the town of Norwood. I will never, ever say Norwood. How many times do you hear me say the word Hyde Park?
Hyde Park.
It's funny because I've seen intern Mark spell Hyde Park before.
Mark has a lot of strong suits as an intern. I would not put spelling at the top of the list. Not a good speller,
Hyde Park, though. H-I-G-H.
I mean, Joe, when you lived there, it might have been,
It certainly was. All right, well, I put out the bad signal for people. Anyways, it's when you got a good baba, you have to hang on to it.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
You got to put them in the calendar. You got to set aside the $60 every time you go. I know, right? I'm bald. I have no hair, but it costs $60. But you know what? Nobody else can make me look this good.
Put it on a T-shirt.
I do have stickers of my face. Do you want one?
I have a couple, Joe.
Let me see if I can. Do I have one on me? When I do card shows, people eat them up, man.
You start putting a $1 price tag on those things.
You know what? You can buy one right now at joeymurr.com.
There you go. There's a plug.
Actually, there really is. There's collectibles on there, too. Okay. Now I'm soliciting. Anyways, when you get a barber, hang on to it. And then when you leave, book another appointment. Put it in your calendar. And
your what, Joe?
Your calendar. And stay with them.
You sound like Andy Bernard right now.
It's a commitment, man. It's like a dog. You get that cut, you set the next one back up. Because today, when I reunited with my baba, I was happy. I feel good. I got complimented. I got gassed up today. So when you get that good baba, you hang on to it. You show him love. Maybe I'll bring him coffee next time I see him. Or I'll go to the gingerbread construction company and get muffins.
Do you give the barber a little something around the holidays? Gift card, something like that?
Well, the kid who did mine, Juju Jr., Kevin Jr., Gave him a nice little birthday spiff. Turned 21. I wanted to.
There you go. You got to grease the tracks there. I believe I saw that picture.
Yeah. He, do you know they also cut Ken Griffey Jr.'s son's hair?
Ken Griffey Jr. seniors.
Ken Griffey.
Hold on,
Ken
Joe.
Griffey Jr.'s junior.
Is he a junior? Would he be Ken Griffey Jr.
The
senior's junior?
Wait. Jake's still here for some reason. I don't know why.
I think he's enjoying himself.
I need him to think about this. Okay, so there's Ken Griffey Sr.
Yes.
And Ken Griffey Jr.
Yes.
Ken Griffey Jr. has a son, I believe, named Ken Griffey.
So he's KG3.
He's also on the wall with me.
He's not RG3, he's KG3.
I will tell you, I'm on two walls. I don't know how to get on the Kowloon wall.
Joe, it feels like you should have an inside track.
Well, Jared Karab has beat me to it because he's from there. Like, how could I defend that?
North Shore bias a little bit, maybe there.
I'm not from there, so
out of towner.
Is anybody else on a wall? I was once on a wall at the Halfway Cafe in Dedham because I ate the most wings in a certain amount of time. Some guy handmade my face.
He drew it, Joe. He drew your face.
He drew my and we put it on the wall at the Halfway Cafe in Dedham. We used to smash 40 ounces. I'm not proud of that. I told the story as we were leaving. Why is it we have the best conversations when we're leaving each other?
Hey, Mark always breaks something out on the walk out of here.
No,
I feel like.
Why is it when we're leaving?
He's going back to college. You know, he's something's always going on. He's always got something in the works.
We spend like 5 hours together a night, but our best content is when we're leaving each other? What the hell kind of show is this?
A wicked hard one, Joe.
Oh my God, the phone lines are loaded.
People like to muse, Joe.
Let's muse away then. Mike's in the truck. Mike.
Hey, Joe, what's going on, man?
Yo,
so when I was growing up, I got my hair cut at a barber when I was like 3 years old. My first haircut ever. Got pictures the whole nine. My whole life, all the way through high school, everything, same guy, same cut, walked in, knew what I was doing, whatever. Went to college, came back, go to the barber shop, the Chapel Street Chopper. His name was Fred. Fred died. No idea how to get a haircut when I went back in there. The guy that was taking his place asked me, "What do you want?" And I said, "I don't know." I had no idea how to get my hair cut at 19 years old.
Now what do you do?
Now I've been to the same barber for 15 years. I got a 1.5 on the sides, and depending on your fingers, finger length on top.
Mike, you know what you should do is you should take a picture of it and then show it to your next barber.
Yeah, well,
I want this.
I'm not planning on moving anytime soon. But the worst thing was when I came back from college, the guy said, "What do you want?" And I said, "Kind of short on the side and kind of short on the top, but a little bit longer." I came out looking like a jarhead.
Yeah,
not good.
Not to get morbid, but there was a time where I would have a baba and he'd die, and I'd be like, "Where's my? What happened to him?" And he goes, "Oh man, it was really sad." I'm like, "No." And then I went to another one in Medford, and he died. And I'm like, "What is going on?" And then the next one when I went into it, it was called the men's room, and the guy goes, "Dude, I don't want to cut your hair, man. I don't want to die." So like there was a period of time.
You got something going on up there.
I was the Reaper, bro. I was literally the haircut Reaper.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mike. I've been the Reaper before, Skaz, too. You notice I haven't been doing a lot of birthdays lately?
Almost like you're avoiding them, Joe.
Well, you don't. Mike is in Providence. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Joe. Hey, so I will say it. Yeah, I grew up in Acton, Massachusetts, and I went to the West Concord barbershop for 30-plus years. Even when I was in college, I would drive 45 minutes. My roommates would give me hell about it. But it was one of those things, when you find somebody who knows how to cut your hair, you walk in there, you sit down, you have your conversation. It's fantastic. That and a dry cleaner. I will drive out of my way for a good haircut and a good dry cleaner. No question asked.
Mike, you know what I do, and it's really bad? I have always shopped at the Market Basket in Reading, right? And
where, Joe?
The Market Basket in Reading. And to this day, I'll drive from Peabody to Reading only because I know where to go at the supermarket.
Yeah.
I pass 5 of them.
But it's the one you know. It's the one that gets you every single time.
Yep.
There's no reason to change what works, right?
I'm a creature of habit, baby. That's pathetic, though, right? I go to the same Market Basket because I know. I mean, I know the one down here now. I could blindfold the one in there.
Used to bump into each other in there before the show quite often.
I could weigh the bags without even putting it on the scale.
And some issues over there.
The steak and whenever someone makes a steak and cheese, just leave. Don't even bother. Street Team Joe's probably laughing his ass off about this right now. He loves his top 5 steak and cheese, right?
Top 5, Joe.
But if you're at the counter and you want something and someone orders a steak and cheese, just leave. Because they're not going to pay attention to you.
Back it up.
They're just going to put the meat down and just... They multitask!
Do your job, Joe. And bomb.
Dan in Hyde Park. Hey, Dan.
Hey, what's up, Joe? Motherfucker.
Hey, dummy up. Don't swear. You... I told you when anybody calls from that area, West Roxbury.
Hey, I was psyched to hear you talking about the high school football and MIAA. I was wondering, can you explain, like I'm 5, the different divisions and why, the Super Bowl champions don't play each other to crown like an ultimate state champion?
Yes, because of the size of the school. If you're in a small school, you're in a high division.
Yeah,
you're in a big
it's
school, you're in the top division.
Some of the, graduating classes in these schools are vastly, vastly different. The level of talent in some of these areas, yeah, it's apples and oranges.
Correct. The guy who called in. The stream wins, but he swore. And it almost got me to swear.
It's a chain reaction, a cause and effect, Joe.
I'm glad I put it out there, though. Because, I muse a lot. Yeah, Ice Cube owned a barbershop, right? Or was it Cedric the Entertainer?
I think it's Cedric's barbershop, but I think Ice Cube is in the movie.
Okay. But see, it works, right? I used to go to a barbershop where they used to roll dice in between haircuts, and I hated that. I'm down with that. I want my haircut, though. Hey, hang on, Joe. I'll line that up in a second here. I got to roll this dice. That's literally what would happen. Oh, God. Prince Humperdinck's on the line.
Hi, Joe. You didn't call me Tom and Quincy. Thank you.
Well, it didn't say it.
I know that because I made sure with your screener, but I wanted to know how difficult was it for you to pronounce your R's? Like you definitely worked on it because I try to do it too. There's no way that was easy because I can hear you talking now.
Yeah, I went to dialect class. I met this guy who was he was Swiss. He spoke 8 languages. I actually would go to his home. It was near the garden. And I'd go in his home, and he would...
You definitely went out of your way to make sure that you could speak the way that you should speak on the radio.
Yes, I can read. Like, if I do headlines, I'll nail it. But when I'm just Joe, sometimes, like, if I yell, you'll hear it.
I try to speak to other people correctly, and then when I am just talking like me, it's hard, Joe.
It's hard.
Hard.
Do you know what else too is?
It's difficult.
You know what else too is? It depends on the type of music you listen to as well.
Yeah, well, you had this on in the background too, so I feel comfortable, and I'm just like, oh yeah, talk like me, and then it's like, oh no, I have to speak correctly.
Do you remember the song by Linkin Park, "In the End"? Right? I tried so hard, and got so far.
But in the end, I got this stupid accent.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I know. Well, thanks for taking my call, and say happy birthday to me.
What?
Say happy birthday to me, please.
Today's your birthday?
Yes, it is. I'm 44, so I'm older than you now.
So wait. You're asking me to wish you a happy birthday?
Yep. But you won't do it? Wow,
Well,
I thought we were friends.
No, we're cool. We are cool. But who does that? You know what you know what I'm out on?
44-year-old guys by themselves listening to the Joe Show. That's who.
Yes, but listen to me. I don't like when people post on the internet, like they'll post like a piece of a cake, and they'll say "Happy birthday to me." It's like it's a call to action. It's like
It is.
It's like, it's like you
but
want to get gassed. It's like you want me to gas you up right now.
No, I agree with you, but I guess it's because it's like the day's almost over now, and I really am just like, okay. I even asked the YouTube chat, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Hey, who's your what's your favorite version of Happy Birthday? Like it was.
There's no good one.
Remember Michael
Lisa, it's your birthday.
I was just gonna say
The Simpsons.
We're the same age. Lisa, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday. God bless you this day. Something like that type of thing.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Joe. You just made my day.
Get my name right, will you?
Well, you get my name wrong half the time too, so sorry about that, Joe.
You know what? That you are right about. Hey, I have a question for you. What kind of cake?
Yeah. No cake. I didn't have anything.
What does any cake on their birthday?
I'm telling you, it's lonely. I had some shepherd's pie. That wasn't bad.
Ooh.
Everyone is talking about eating because I'm like, all the people that I used to talk to, and I'm like, I'm getting hungry. Like it's Pavlov's response when I listen to you at certain times, and I'm like, I got to eat something. What am I doing? And people are in the kitchen. And
would you ever get the chicken pot pie at KFC?
Yeah, I would.
Have you seen the commercial?
I don't know that. No, I don't think so. Why? Does it look bad or good?
No, it looks good. You mentioned shepherd's pie. I'm bringing up chicken pot pie.
Yeah, I would definitely get it from KFC. I like everything from KFC.
Do you get?
I got a KFC and a Popeyes right next to each other.
I'd go Popeyes, but you should check your email today and see if anyone sent you any birthday offers so you could get like a discount.
That's a really good idea that I hadn't thought about.
You're welcome. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Well, thanks for taking my call, and say happy birthday to me.
What?
Say happy birthday to me, please.
Today's your birthday?
Yes, it is. I'm 44, so I'm older than you now.
So wait. You're asking me to wish you a happy birthday?
Yep.
You're having a blast back there tonight, aren't you?
Joe, I'm going to miss you. Miss you the next 2 nights.
Yes. Programming note, I will be on tomorrow from 2 to 6 p.m. Matt's in Charlestown. Hey, Matt.
Hey, bud. How you doing? Love the show. You're the only show that, like, it drives my wife crazy. I'm like, no, got to have 98.5 on because Joe's got a full show tonight. So I took a couple classes in college on the Boston accent, and yours is off the charts tonight. So I'm going to ask you to do a couple exercises and say these things, and we'll see if we get it right. Say the traditional park. I'm going to do it with no Boston accent. Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
All right, now say it as you normally would. Just no accent or just relaxed.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Yes, so you did it. So you said, park the car in Harvard Yard. So the Boston accent makes anytime there's an R with a hard consonant after it. So park is right. Car, which is what you said, is right. because you said park the car in Harvard Yard. That's right.
Yeah, but
so you had
the exercises I would do would be like, for example, say candy.
Candy.
See, it's candy. But other people say candy. Or
really?
Instead of like hand, people say hand. Like they.
That's gross.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not just the R. There's a lot of other dialect in there.
How about this one? How do you say when you go to a movie, you buy a nice serving of buttered what?
So, okay, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
I am guilty of saying pup, like P-U-P. I say pup.
P-U-P, me too.
So, but it's pop. And here's the other one. Do you know which one I always screw up?
Mom. You say mom.
Okay. I was gonna say Halloween.
You say Halloween?
It's Halloween.
Yeah. How do you say MOM?
Mom.
Oh, so you're kind of with me, mom.
Yeah, sure.
You don't say mom. You say mom.
Mom. Nope, I say mom.
Yeah.
M-U-M.
And popcorn. P-U-P. How do you say C-R-A-Y-O-N?
Crayon.
100% right. Most of the country, including the Northeast, says crayon.
What about syrup?
Which is syrup. You said it right.
But other people say syrup.
They're stupid. All right. How about this one? So you know the word for mother it could be ma, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to say two things.
Don't swear.
It's hard, but I won't.
Don't do it.
So I'm going to ask you to say that word ma where I say mother.
Ma?
Go see mother upstairs and go see mother downstairs. How do you say it?
Go see mother upstairs and downstairs.
No. But replace mother with ma and then each sentence.
Go see ma upstairs.
Yeah, and now say it again.
Go see ma downstairs.
You said it right. You have a Boston accent. So go see.
I'm done. That was like, I felt like I was like happy. I know, Big Daddy when Rob Schneider comes in. Hippopotamus.
Joe, we're very late, but we have a special guest on the line. A man we've been clamoring for.
Stretch, what's up?
What's going on, Joe? How are you?
Hey, Stretch, you know what you remind me of? Do you remember those commercials that they would go, "What's up?" Do you have one of those in you?
Joe, you and Skaz are my friends. And you know what? You need to wish me a happy birthday, Joe.
Is it really your birthday?
No, it ain't my day. I'm making fun. I'm making fun of the other guy.
Well, Stretch, now I feel like Google should put your birthday in my phone now.
Yo, my birthday's October 27th. 4 days before Halloween.
Halloween, correct? Yes. What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? What's up?
Right now, I'm on my way to Encore.
Oh, can I get an encore? Do you want more?
Yes. Brooklyn Roar. Yo, and you know what, Joe? You got a good accent because I'm from New York, like I told you, and you always use the R. We park our car. We go to the yard.
And we go to Encore. We go to Encore.
We go to Encore, not Encore.
What are you doing? What are you playing? You playing any tables or you going to dinner?
Nah, I'm actually about to go to the table. I'm about to try to be good on 21 tonight, Joe.
Yeah, always double down on 11, even if they're showing a 2 or a king. I always do it.
Okay. Hey, Joe, you know what? I told you, I told Skaz I was going to do this for you. Joe. That's for you, Joe.
Yeah.
That's for the radio station.
Coffee, baby. Cough it, baby. Yeah.
That's for you. You know. Put one in the air for you, Joe. I love your show, and I love you and Skaz, man. Keep doing what you do.
Put them in the air. Put it in the air. Sup, Stretch? We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.